Oh, damn it.
Start an argument like my tangent was every metal. My tangent the other week was every Metal Gear after 2 sucks. just
random shit.
Well, like the thing is, like I'm not crazy about 3, but I honestly do think 3 might be the worst one for me.
Yo, dude, thank you. Everybody loves 3. Yeah. It's not that good. It's really not.
No.
It's just like, oh, what if he was James Bond? That's all it is. Who cares?
It's just fan service, though. Like, remember Revolver Ocelot? Well, now he's like, why? What? That was never brought up before. He was young once.
We know. Yeah. We knew that.
It's just like when they put R2-D2 and C-3PO in Star Wars, and you're like, fuck you. Like in the prequels too. You told me Darth Vader built C-3PO. How little respect do you have for me as your audience? So that's the fucking. You know what I mean? Like
very little.
Yeah, it would turns out. Turns out, yeah, he's no respect in the fan base.
All right, well, like we're already recording because there's no way I'm not keeping that fucking joke. It's like talking about like choice Star Wars shows. It's funny. It's like I'm catching up on the doc, and this is basically behind the scenes, but I'm catching up on the doc, and like sometimes that means I'm reading something and also listening to Scott rant about something, and just. He's so no respect to the fan base.
I'm sorry, dude, but then like again, like it's been like a thing. Like I'm like, what does Jello love that I can destroy?
Yeah,
or not destroy, but just like exaggerate my dislike for specific aspects of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not crazy about Breath of the Wild, and we'll get into that later in the pod because we're covering the sequel.
Oh, can't wait.
But I ripped on. I basically said that every Zelda's been the same fucking thing with a new gimmick since Ocarina of Time, which is 100% true, right? Like 100%. But I also said, and I stand by this, the last good one was Wind Waker, and that pissed him all the way the fuck off.
You ever just feel yourself sell your soul just to make someone mad? You like say things that you don't even agree with. Yeah. But like 100%. Seeing the fact that you like affected someone else so negatively like makes it worth it. It just feels good. That's how you know you're a piece of shit. Just got to accept it. Move on.
That's how you know that if Satan himself came to Earth and offered you a deal, you'd probably take it, you piece of shit.
Well, the question is, what's the deal that Satan's offering me? Like, is it like? I mean, it would like again. It comes back to the Thanos snap. You know, like would Satan banish everyone who owns a Dodge to hell? Because I could sign up for that, you know. I can get down with that.
Hang on, I think specifically like a Dodge Caravan, though.
No. Like, have you ever seen like a Dodge Charger pulled over and all the blood rushes from everywhere else in your body directly to your cock because you're so excited that piece of shit that you heard from like 3 miles back got pulled over 1 mile ahead of you?
Yeah, but it's got a Hemi.
Here's the real question. Remember the episode of Workaholics where they were saying what's the lowest amount of money that you would blow a guy for? Mm-hmm. So what's the least like what's the like lowest wish that you would sell your soul to the devil for?
Okay.
The lowest wish?
Yeah.
I don't know if this counts as the lowest wish, but that I could drink as much as I wanted without dying of liver disease.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, good one.
It doesn't help anybody but me.
Yeah, but he's gonna monkey's paw that wish and like have you get hit by a car while you're completely sober one day, and then take your immortal soul for all eternity.
Well, I'm an eternal optimist, so I went into that hypothetical assuming he would not monkey paw that thing, Scott.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't think.
What's your retort to that?
I've read a lot of R.L. Stein books, and I don't think that's how the monkey paw works, Chris.
I think the devil would lowball me, and he'd like open with a fake offer, like, a half inch onto your dick, and I'd be like, deal, and then it's just boom, and I'd think that I won that deal with the devil.
But it would be like a wart that was an extra half inch.
Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah, that's how the monkey's paw works, man.
Yeah, or like a third ball that's in the middle, so you're never comfy sitting ever again as long as you live.
Oh man,
you know.
Scott, what about yours?
Oh god, that's difficult.
There's so many people I hate.
Well, I wouldn't use it to like destroy somebody else. I think I would use it to assimilate, to become somebody else. Have you ever seen that movie Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser? The absolute honey of the late 90s.
And Elizabeth Hurley, I believe.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, Elizabeth Hurley. Who's still
I would use my wish to have Elizabeth Hurley sit on my face.
Fair. That had nothing to do with the movie, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I would be a millionaire, and Amy Jo Johnson would be my wife. That's what happened.
I have to look up who Amy Jo Johnson is. I got to be. honest with you.
She was the Pink Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Remember all those rumors about her doing porn weren't true, and that was a huge bummer.
Yeah, really.
We all turned into investigative journalists that week.
I legitimately like the other night someone said something about her doing porn. I legitimately Googled whether she was ever in Playboy. Nope.
No, it wasn't in there. Can't see her butthole anywhere.
No, you know who else wasn't? Jennifer Love Hewitt. Big upset. Big sad.
Yeah. Couldn't just lob one on right, Jen.
I'm not gonna even pretend that to be with people like, well, I have a subscription to Playboy. I don't. I would never read the articles. The page would be too sucked together for me to make out what the sentences and paragraphs were.
We kind of missed. I think like our generation kind of missed the porn magazine thing. Like it was there. I knew of them. I remember looking at them. But like by the time I was old enough to know what to do with my dick, it was like the internet existed. So
yeah.
Oh no. Me and this kid Jimmy that I was friends with when I was younger. Not the Jimmy you guys know. A much better Jimmy.
Okay. Top shelf Jimmy.
Yeah, fuck that other Jimmy you were talking about.
Top shelf Jimmy. We bought a porn mag off of one of my neighbors, this kid Ben who lived next door. Ben was a fucking weirdo. Ben spent most of his time
Sounds like it already.
Shooting birds with a BB gun and hanging them up like he was like the huntsman.
Oh no.
Yeah. But Ben's
more like the kunstman. Got him.
Ben was a fucking weirdo. Ben was a weirdo until I was old enough to get drunk and get high. Then we were kind of like, he was like in mid 20s and I was like 17. And like, I didn't know that he was a fucking loser and he liked that. So he'd hang out with me.
We've all known a type like that. My cousin.
but when Ben was 15 and I was like, I don't know, fucking, he had to be older. He had to be like in his like 18, 19. I was like fucking 12. He sold me a porno mag. And I was so afraid to bring it in the house that I kept it outside in a plastic bag. But the moisture got in, guys, and guess what happened? Those pages got wet. And then the winter came. Those pages got frozen together. You ever been so horny when you were younger that you desperately tried to pry open a frozen magazine to see an areola? Because I have.
Nope.
No, I honestly can't say that I have. I'm just fixated on the audacity of selling someone a cummy magazine. Like, you wouldn't just give that away? Wouldn't you want to get rid of it at some point?
I mean, in his defense, it wasn't coming. He must have been aiming to the right because it never none of the pages stuck together when we got it.
Real shocker here. No cum. Almost no cum when I got it when it made its way to me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't put it under a black light, because like the only person I knew who had a black light was Ben. I was gonna fucking.
I could buy that off you too. This kid's actually a hustler, not a loser. He's selling you everything he's got. No, I sold this fucking kid the blacklight to find my cum.
It's a real Scott Tetherman situation we have here.
Just make a Scott Tetherman joke.
Yeah.
Hit me a couple seconds late. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to top the Hisano respect into fan base.
No, we're definitely not. But I was going to just use the Scott Tetherman joke to segue. So I'm going to do that now awkwardly. Welcome
Perfect.
to the Cynical Nerd. Boys, we have reached a milestone. Some might even call it a kilometer stone. I wouldn't, because they're not exactly the same thing. This is episode 34, and how dirty we all are. That this means we're going to mention Rule 34 as often as possible this episode. I didn't discuss that with these guys. That's just what I'm going to do.
34 rules for fucking your co-hosts.
No, I don't want that.
No, wasn't that the fucking?
Is that the sequel to 10 Things I Hate About You?
I thought that was the John. I thought that's why John Ritter's heart exploded.
Could you imagine? Out the gate firing with shots against the dead. It's rude. Can you imagine if 10 Things I Hated About You
making me sit through 3 Problem Child movies was rude too, John. So we're even.
Hey, he's just trying to get a buck, man. He's trying to make a buck. John Ritter was a hilarious man. Leave his name stately.
I mean, he peaked on Three's Company though, right?
Big time. I also had to pretend I cared when he died because everyone else was doing it, and I was just like, oh, I should probably be making these facial expressions too every time someone mentions John Ritter for the rest of my life.
Make it sound like you're an android. How do I make the?
It's the Harry the Case situation all over again, right? Where like everyone's like no one was there's no way people in their like early 20s were diehard John Ritter fans when he passed. There's no like your parents are sad. That makes sense. You're sad. Like you listen to Miley Cyrus. What the fuck do you care? I don't get it.
I'm gonna need to start planning for like every eventuality because if you had said that and I was able to just produce like a John Ritter picture that I had
like a
framed,
John Ritter tattoo across your fucking pec.
I'm just gonna have to start like I'm gonna have to do like a bingo's card of where Scott's jokes are gonna wander and just try to be prepared for all eventualities.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's gonna take the comedy to the next level.
I believe you had 2 welcomes down, 1 to go.
Did I only do welcome? Oh no!
Oh, that's weird.
But now you got to do the final one by yourself, like just one. It's gonna be weird.
Welcome.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, now you got to do it again. You got to do all 3.
Dry orgasm. Just do all 3.
Welcome to episode 34, where we talk about all the ways you can fuck your favorite cartoon critters as long as they look like they're older than 12. And we're gonna get into that shit too today.
Oh no! I intentionally didn't put any of the Nintendo Weeb games in the doc because I didn't want to waste too much time on them.
No, we're gonna. We got into a debate. Well, hang on. First off, we have weekend review news. We have trailers. We have some remnants of E3 coverage, aka Nintendo news to cover, and then we have plenty of main topics. So we do kind of have to hustle today. We started off with a great pace last episode and lost it towards the end.
We really did, yeah.
However, we're going to strive to get through all this stuff. We have a lot of really cool stuff to talk about, and I like this week's docket because it's pared back. It feels like we only have the creme de la creme of shit and or cool stuff to discuss. First out the gate is something that just happened today, and I thought it was so incredibly horrible and such a terrible oversight by Crystal Dynamics that we should talk about it. And that's the Avengers game that people are still playing. The latest update that just came out leaks all your personal info right out on the screen as soon as you log in. You log in, it shows your username, it shows your WAN IP address, which is how anybody in the world who knew anything about computers could basically locate you down to like a block, all that fun stuff. And that's just a whole bag of shit, right? Like, how do you fuck that up? That's got to be like a developer code that's somehow now displaying on the screen. And the fun thing is, it's not like if you're streaming it, you can just put like a little black bar over it because apparently it moves around the fucking screen.
That was the most comical part about it to me. Like, how much more could you possibly fuck up that it's not even just like fixated to a static spot on the fucking display. It bounces around, so you can't fucking cover it. Like, are you kidding me?
It's like, oh, you almost got me.
Is there really like that large of a community that streams Avengers though? Is there?
And are their identities worth stealing? Is the next question.
Yeah, like if you're streaming Avengers, 6 months after launch, still like. Is stealing your IP address really the worst thing that's going to happen to you in your life that day? Because like you woke up, right? That has to be detrimental in itself. I'm with. It's hard to feel bad for anybody who's playing that game still at all. That's all I can say.
You're doing this to yourselves. The closing of I don't usually shout out the authors of articles that we totally rip off of to read our news here, but this is a Kotaku article, and the last line of this article, written by Mike Fahey, although he's a bro because he plays World of Warcraft and has throughout all the years. His last line is, "And that, my friends, is the most interesting thing that's happened in Avengers all year," which is 100% true.
It's unfortunate someone can't just snap their fingers and make half their player base disappear, right?
I was waiting for the Thanos joke.
I'm just saying, like the amount of people that still play this and support the DLC, like it's the Destiny thing all over again. You're reinforcing bad habits that these companies have to sell you half-finished games and sell you the rest. Fuck them.
Yeah, remember when Anthem was so bad that everybody just stopped playing it, so they just stopped supporting it and it just died?
Yeah.
We should do that more with more games.
I agree.
Just let them go away.
Consequently, with the theme of the week, there's probably a lot of Rule 34 out there for the Avengers, huh?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's definitely at least several crude drawings of the Hawk splitting Black Widow's brown eye.
I was gonna say, and then you just answered it for me. I was gonna go quick vote. Who do you think has the most Rule 34? And it is unquestionably got to be the Hulk destroying Black Widow. No question.
Yeah, but then they'll be like, Loki and Thor rule 33.
I'm willing to do the research. Sorry, I was waiting for whoever was going to say anything next. I didn't hear.
Question is second biggest cock in the Avengers, because clearly Hulk's got the biggest.
I mean, you want to say Thor, right? But the hammer's got to be like he's making up for something.
Yeah, he's got to be compensating. You know.
I'm gonna go. Ooh. Okay, power based. It could be Ant-Man very easily.
Yeah, even if it's not, he can just make it so. Boom.
Yeah,
that's fair.
He's even got this little throwable things. I wonder if he can just hit his little dinker and make it balloon up for a little bit.
Trying to think of a Pym particle cum joke, and I got nothing.
I like that I really tickled Derek with that, and it was such a stupid joke. It's probably because I said dinker.
I love the word dinker. It just gets me. It just gets through to me.
Yeah,
it just gets me. Shoulder shrug. All right, let's talk about some Twitch drama. I want to talk about some Twitch drama. Our favorite provocateurs, Amaranth and Indie Fox. Never heard of her before today, unfortunately. Have been banned. These are the ones who made the hot tub streams.
Temp
go through
banned,
the roof.
Right?
Yeah, they're temp banned, and that's part of the. That's part of the problem here. Is that, according to most sources, and I'm not 100% sure if this number is accurate, but everybody I keep hearing is saying it, Amaranth and Indie Fox are on their 4th and 5th bans, respectively, for Twitch, which would make them obvious repeat offenders for the same thing, sexually explicit content. And everybody started to play the what's fair game by saying, like, well, if somebody like, I don't know, fucking XQC was banned for doing the same thing, do you think they would let him get away with it 4 or 5 times? No, he'd have been perma-banned after the 3rd at the latest offense. Yeah. But some of these people, and I can't pick, I don't have it written down, but there was someone gave an example of a player who was banned for doing an action the first time permanently, and it wasn't even like cheating in a game or something. So they're clearly getting a little bit of preferential treatment here. And what they're doing, and I don't, okay, so look, I don't like this guy, but I'm going to use him as an example. Asmongold, the World of Warcraft streamer.
Yeah, I used to like him. He's the absolute worst, right?
Yeah, I used to like him until I realized he's I don't know if he realizes this, but he's like borderline like conservative cuck. Like the shit he says, it's really bad. And I'm not trying to get political, but he says like he's like the Pepe the Frog embodiment of the basement dweller. And look, he's kind of a smart guy, but he says some really off-color shit sometimes and doesn't realize it. My whole point is he made a video about this. And he was talking about, he's like, you know what the problem is? My problem with this is that it's selfish because they're going to hurt me because they're using Twitch platforms to basically shill porn to children. They use their Twitch addresses, their Twitch channels to advertise their OnlyFans, which is legitimately softcore porn, like legit, not even a question because
in some cases
research.
In some cases, hardcore porn.
In some cases, hardcore porn. To an arguably mostly underage audience. And he was like, look, if all this is going to take is a CNN or an MSNBC or a Fox News to do an expose on all this shit, and then Twitch gets harassed and shut down and all these advertisers pull out, and then my fucking wallet gets hurt. And he was right. He has a good point. So I got to give credit where credit's due. What they're doing, because I haven't even mentioned that yet, is Amaranth and Indie Fox specifically have been doing ASMR. Now, that's not new. They've been doing that weird shit, which I can't fucking stand, for years. What's wrong is that, not wrong, but what's sexually suggestive is now they're doing it in yoga shorts. They're doing it while they're doing sexually suggestive yoga poses, and they're licking the microphone. So they're literally showing the kids what it would like look like if they were probably blowing somebody. It's more or less what it comes down to. And again, I did the research.
Can I mean, I've got it. Like I read this article and I read some of like the captions of tweets where like this girl's talking about how like she's not a fad chaser. She like helped push the category of ASMR to the heights that it's at. Like the heights that it's at, like everybody who isn't jerking off to you thinks you're a fucking weirdo. People who want ASMR to relax to don't want ear licking sounds. That shit's annoying. You wearing a fucking horse head mask, neighing and face fucking yourself into a microphone isn't relaxing anybody. People who want to have ASMR style things tend to suffer from anxiety and need white noise to drown it out, right? Like, so you're gonna listen to somebody who's maybe doing an audiobook, and listen to maybe like the sounds of the ocean, like a white noise machine. You don't want somebody fucking. It's gross. It's weird. It's perverse in a way that me, even as, I guess you couldn't say I'm a professional pervert because I never hurt anybody, but I'm,
yeah, that'd be a bad title to.
A connoisseur of the pornographic, a connoisseur of the perverse. I wouldn't like. Imagine walking in on your kid listening to this and watching, like, dude, like, it's just, I think this is more damaging than pornography, to be honest, 100%. It's manipulative. It's abusive. These people are clearly sociopaths who want to push the envelope, and they keep getting a free ride. They keep getting a pass out of all the horse shit they're doing. And it's just infuriating, man, to watch this. Like, I'm embarrassed for her watching these clips, and she's talking about it as if she's like some talented human being. Like, all you're doing is like, you're beautiful, but your personality is clearly shit. 'Cause you see the way you treat your followers, and all you're doing is just you're just wearing an outfit and you're licking a microphone. Anyone can do.
Yeah, they literally call it ear licking. That's
you're anyone can do what you do. You're not talented. And if you had a personality, you probably wouldn't have to resort to this kind of shit to get a following, right? Is that sexist to say? Does that make me sound like an incel? But it's fucking true.
No, because that's always the dilemma I have whenever like Amaranth or titty streamers in general get brought up, is that it's always like, I think, all right, if I was in a situation where like my body was enough to make money off of it by just sitting in front of a camera and doing goofy shit, would I do it? Absolutely, if I didn't have to fucking work. Or only work, 3 hours out of the day or whatever. So like, on one hand, I always go, that's my first reaction. It's like, all right, well, I get it. It's like, it's really the issue isn't the streamer, the titty streamers. It's the fact that people will actually throw money at them. And that's the real issue. But then you look at like these videos like of and again, listeners, sometimes there's just a visual element that like we can't provide for you on an audio medium. But if you were to YouTube Amaranth horse mask, ASMR, you'd likely find a 30-second clip of her literally in a horse mask in like tight tights, basically like getting face fucked by her microphone. And it's just like,
I would like to point out that the tights are Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen tights. I did the research.
This guy does his fucking research over here.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a bit going. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, you're like Professor Jones over here.
Yeah.
I see that, and it just looks like undiagnosed mental illness to me. Like there's something wrong with it. Really though. Yeah. Like what are you doing? Like what?
It's so cringe, right? Like
I know what she's doing. Anything to get money.
Exactly.
I don't
how
mind.
Far does it go before you have to draw a line in the sand and go, whoa, you can't fucking do that here. Like you got to go somewhere else for that. So like I don't blame Twitch. I hate that I'm saying anything positive about Twitch. But I don't blame them whatsoever to go like, all right, maybe there's nothing, actually sexually risque happening. There's no nudity. But it's kind of like, how fucking far is this going to go? Like, how weird is this going to get? And how much do I want one of the biggest streamers of my site to like that to be a reflection of our values as a company? I totally get why they go like, hang on, let's just time out this and figure out,
The problem is that they've timed her out 4 or 5 times without actually issuing a permanent ban.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I applaud them for doing it. It's not enough.
Yeah.
Like whether or not her viewers approve of her methods, which clearly they do. Twitch's community guidelines have literal pages dedicated to sexually suggestive content on the site, and the general idea is that it's not fucking allowed. And here it is. Yeah. Not only being perpetuated, but allowing those content creators to advertise even worse shit, like their OnlyFans page, which I'm not going to say I did the research, but because I'd said it already earlier, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I did look up Amaranth. I'm a grown man. I can look it up her fucking OnlyFans page, and she might not be doing hardcore, but she's got the nipple tassels on with nothing else, and she's moving her ass around. She's got a thong on. And she's
Wait,
like
so people pay money and she doesn't even have the nips showing?
As far as I can see, no. She does a couple
other
shots.
Losers, shame on you. If you
that's
spend
fucking
money
offensive.
on
Oh
not
my
even
God.
nipples, you are a piece of shit. You're worse than the fucking weebs. You're worse than the fucking furries. Fuck you if you pay money for not even nipple.
I would like to interject here, like just to clarify, like I agree with you that if I could just be pretty on camera, I would do that too.
Well, you're doing it right now. You're doing great. Keep it up.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
look at you.
You're
Thank
pretty
you.
Man. You're pretty man.
But it's also like there's so many beautiful, talented personable female streamers and male streamers who are lovely to look at, easy on the eyes. You know who you are. You know who you are out there. Not you, Jello. But it's if you come for somebody's personality, if you come for for the gameplay, there's different aspects to it. It just seems to me like if she was playing a game, I wouldn't pay her any mind. I wouldn't care. It's just this is like it's so out of left field. It's so weird, and it seems like it's like a testing of boundaries. It's almost like she's playing a joke on everybody. She's Andy Kaufmaning everybody.
Yeah.
But instead of being an intelligent comedian and planning out well-thought, decade-long bits, she's just being a dumb cunt, and people are throwing money at her.
Well,
I would say that she's the Tony Clifton of Twitch.
Oh,
you hear that? No, you're not gonna hear that. We're nobody, but you are, for the record, the dumbest, most self-involved, full of shit piece of shit I've ever seen on any platform, any social media platform ever.
Oh, Tony Clifton. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was a good fucking reference. Holy shit.
Thank you.
I didn't register right away.
Get it. Yeah.
Tony Clifton was the guy that Andy Kaufman dressed up as to be his like lounge singer persona.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
This
guy's seen Man on the Moon. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And every episode of Taxi.
So fuck Amaranth, basically. I don't know. Twitch needs to do more about it, but I'm glad they're taking the steps they are. Thankfully, this topic seems to be ballooning around the internet with a lot of other people weighing in with their opinions, so hopefully Twitch takes some more permanent measures.
Oh, man.
As of right now, I'm pretty sure Amaranth and Indy Fox have been unbanned already.
You know what's coming next, right? They're gonna be popping balloons. They're gonna be popping balloons with their butt cheeks. Speaking of ballooning, like they're gonna be fucking like popping shit with their crushing watermelons with their thighs. It's gonna get weirder. It's gonna get weirder.
They're gonna shoot oxygen into their butthole and then inflate the balloon with their farts or something.
Didn't somebody fart on a microphone?
I would watch that.
Didn't somebody legit fart on a microphone though? Like she had the fart on it. They were like no sub and like no something until you fart or something like that. I saw like the fucking chat window, and I hope hope it's a meme, but I don't think it was.
Bring those guys to my stream. I'll fart on the mic all day, boys. My good IRL friend, Mr. Paul Flart.
Yeah,
you know Paul Flart.
Oh, right? I know Paul Flart. Yeah.
Real name I will not disclose. That I know him from high school.
I hope that's not his name.
You don't know who Paul Flart is? No.
No. Oh yeah, we gotta.
He got. Well, we'll have to educate you off podcast. He got internet famous for literally making an Instagram channel with the most disgusting of farts. But he was wearing his work security guard outfit, so everybody called him Paul Flart.
But he got fired for farting on the job.
He got fired because his job found out he was doing it while he was at the front desk, and LAD Bible and some other site like Barstool Sports picked it up, and he got really like internet famous for it for a couple minutes. And then he was streaming, and while he was streaming, he had a fart mic, and that was the whole part of my story.
Holy shit!
I don't know if he's still streaming, but Mr. Paul Flart, I love you, buddy. Hope you're doing okay.
Holy shit! That's a really good idea.
Yeah. But there's no way to consider that sexual content, though, right? Like there's
to some people. He'll message me occasionally and be like, hey bud, I miss playing games with you, because he moved out of state. But anyway, enough of me repping my internet famous buddies. There's a rumor, and this is a rumor that Scott
I mean,
very, very excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I am too. I love this franchise. There's a rumor that at the EA Play event that takes place next month, that Dead Space may be having some sort of reveal. Now, we don't know what it is. We have no idea if it's going to be a remake or a sequel. Honestly, the cynic in me says probably just a remaster of the original trilogy. But
there's rumors also that it'll be a reimagining, like a fresh reboot for the series.
Interesting.
Which would explain, why there would be, recycled assets. I mean, obviously not the original assets, but like the Ishimura. People could see screens of the USG Ishimura and think that it's a remake. When a reimagining, that to me seems way more interesting. This has been something that's been hinted at since like June of 2020. So really? It's been going on a year now. One of the writers for the original Dead Space had hinted that it would be revealed at a PS5 event back in June of 2020.
Really?
And then there was a big tease. There was like a big tease where EA had like dropped something when everyone was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Dead Space, it's gonna be Dead Space," and then it was Returnal for PS5. I think that might have been in July of last year. So this has been something that's been like on the radar for a while, and recently, I actually have the direct quote here.
Oh, a little DQ.
Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti on their Games Mess show on March 5th.
I know you didn't make those names up, but it sounds like you did. Please continue.
All right, they've stated that EA is going to bring back an established IP. And like people were like asking them questions, and at the there was a show on June 15th for E3. They hinted that it would be this July 22nd EA plays event, whatever the fuck it is. And they said, and I quote, "We'll see it at the show if we're not dead first." Which either means that like one of them owes somebody a lot of money in the mob, or they're part of a doomsday cult, or they're just being cunts because they know people want to see Dead Space and they're not really going to give us Dead Space, or, and this is the one I'm hoping for, we're going to get a Dead Space reimagining or a sequel, or I'll take a remaster. I'll take an FPS version of Dead Space at this point. I don't give a fuck. I need more Isaac Clarke in my life. I need to see some next gen necromorphs, man. I really think the first game revolutionized horror in a way.
Ooh.
It really did. Because without Resident Evil 4, there would be no Dead Space, but without Dead Space, the shape of modern horror games audio programming would not be what it is now. Dead Space 1 was the first game to introduce proximity audio, where if you stayed a certain distance away from the scare, it would loop the same couple measures of music. The closer you got to danger, the programming would move you forward through the instrumental. So it was essentially a danger proximity thing. You know, sometimes it would lead up to a big scare that led to nothing, and sometimes it would lead to combat. And that right there built tension in an incredible way that most horror games, even indie games, implement now. I mean, you see it like even in, like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th. You know, like even multiplayer games are using the same concept now to kind of like give you audio cues as to how close you are to imminent danger, and it's fucking brilliant. The first two are inarguably some of the best horror games ever made. The third one's a dumb fun action game, but it kind of went the way of Resident Evil 5.
I never played all the way through it. I remember I really loved 1, and then I really loved 2. I don't know where the community stands on it. I always liked 2 more.
I like 2 more. Hands down.
Yeah. I don't like silent protagonists. I just think that's like an old dying thing. I can't believe it's actually still around, but so once they gave Isaac like some voice lines and whatnot, I just think it just helped the game flourish. But anyway, 3 just didn't have that sense of like isolation, and like it was an action game. I mean, we already know this. It's an old game. We don't need to cover that. I would love to see another Dead Space game. I would prefer it to just have another sequel rather than like a remake. But if they remake it, of course, I'll play it. Even when it's one of those games like you can look back at like Assassin's Creed 1, and that's obviously like 13 years old now. And in a lot of ways, it still looks really good, which is weird. Dead Space is another one of those. Like there's just something about the lighting that they fucking nailed. That even though like all this technology, has progressed since then, it still looks great.
Right.
I never get my hopes up until something is officially announced, but that would be really fucking cool.
Can I ask you, you boys a question? You both played Dead Space 2, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play the DLC, the Extraction DLC, where you play as the other guy?
I don't think so.
That was one of my favorite. It's only like I think 4 chapters long, but that was one of my favorite parts of the entire game. The DLC, you play as another character that's on the station before Isaac even wakes up, and you kind of like your narratives kind of overlap a little bit. But it's insanely.
Is it the fella from 3?
No.
Okay.
But it's awesome, man. When I see this, my hope is for a reboot, honestly, because you look at the lore of this game, you look at how much is built into it. It didn't have that cinematic quality, you know what I mean? Because most of your storytelling is done through either audio clips that play while you're walking around, or through logs that you find. It's that old Resident Evil method, and a lot of these games have evolved over the last decade or so, where you get that cinematic quality, but you still get those big jump scares. You know what I mean? And I think it has one of the best stories in horror, one of the best lores in horror. Like Resident Evil lore is so silly, right? Like, but you just don't care. It's a B movie. But this was actually a smart series that had a lot to say about religion, about like, well, obviously, I mean, like zealots, and about it, like industry and capitalism. Like it kind of hit every note for me, and it's written incredibly. But to see that done in a way where the storytelling is a little bit more coherent now, not so scattered, you don't have to hunt down the little bits and pieces of the lore you want to find. I think it'd be awesome. Man. I think it would be one of the biggest AAAs that EA could possibly have, at least in the horror genre.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And if you're wondering whether or not there is Rule 34 of necromorphs, the answer is that there is, and that you don't want to see it. I did the research.
I think you need to put it in that group chat down there. I think you need to.
Nah, I already closed the page because I think the FBI has been called on my browser.
There's gonna be a white van outside your house after this episode.
I agree. I think even if it was a remake, although I worry they would have to change it a little bit, right? Because I don't want the same scares as the original. That would be kind of a fucking bummer. Yeah. You would have to move them around a little bit, otherwise it's kind of. Oh, I'm going to use the word rote.
Well, no, gotcha. you think of like a reimagining. You think of like how they redid Resident Evil 1 for GameCube, right? Like that's a completely different game. They added Lisa Trevor, which was also kind of a lore tie-in to Resident Evil 4.
Taking your word for it, I never played
it. The Crimson Heads, like the zombies, if you don't burn them when they're down, they get back up and they run at you at full speed, and they like can one hit you and kill you. Terrifying stuff, man.
They're called the Crimson Heads.
Yeah. Crimson Heads.
That sounds like a disgusting sex move where you bang her while she's on her period and then she slobs on your dick. You're all welcome.
You're going to Google Crimson Head Rule 34?
No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, no. I bet it exists.
Yeah, probably. No, I'll find out.
Shout out to the webpage rule34.xxx, specifically because the homepage says, if it exists, there's porn of it. If it doesn't, start uploading. Anyway, all right, so that's actually all we had for Week in Review because we have started to, like adults, become more organized and splitting things up specifically into Week in Review and then trailers and then E3 coverage and then main topics. So we're moving into our trailers. We have 4 trailers to talk about. 2 of them I actually added today, so hopefully you guys got to watch them. Mm-hmm. First up is Box of Shit. Bag of shit. Now, it can be a box, I guess. Doesn't matter what container it comes in, right? It's still shit. Titans Season 3, which is coming to HBO Max after the merger, no longer airing on DC Universe, whatever that app was, after Warner Brothers got bought out. Here's the thing. You guys know that I like DC. You also know that I think the Red Hood costume looks like it was sub CW quality. Like it looks like a cosplayer that didn't try hard enough. Especially the mask. It's like not good.
I love that CW is like a metric on this show. It's like, what did you think about the sets? CW-ish.
But here's the thing. There's 2, I would call them problems because it means I'm going to have to watch them. So we'll call them problems. There's 2 problems with this trailer. One is that I like the character of Dick Grayson in Nightwing a lot. He's one of my favorite characters in all of DC. Probably solely because we've got to watch him grow up from Robin to his own superhero. I actually like his solo superhero costume, and the city he lives in, Bloodhaven's kind of cool. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But I like his arc, and the main character of Dick Grayson, played by Brendan Waits, I think his name is now in full Nightwing outfit, doing his own thing finally after 2 seasons. So part 1, that makes me at least kind of interested. The second part is that they're bringing Red Hood in, and it looks like they actually might be bringing somewhat of a big gun in because the trailer starts off with him in like Carnival Row in Gotham. It looks like we're going to get to see the Joker fucking beat him to within an inch of his life because there's a crowbar in the trailer. There's a guard hanging up on a post with the Joker smile on his face. Look, it's probably going to be bad, right? Season 1 was at best like the tier between okay and shit. Like it's not okay, but it's also not complete shit. And then 2 was just complete shit. The season 2 was garbage. That descended very quickly. And so I have no hopes. I have no hopes for this, which I think is a plus. Because if it's even a little okay, I'll be surprised. And that's as high a praise as I can give this. Costumes still look sub CW, which is a metric now that we've coined. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to bring. And that's all I got. It's a lot of uncertainty and ill will towards this franchise. God, how do you feel about it?
Do we know who's going to play the Joker? Has there been any rumors of casting?
They haven't even said he's officially showing up, but he clearly is. It's a shot of someone beating somebody with a crowbar in the carnival scene. But no, there's been no casting or anything like that officially announced.
I don't care then.
Yeah, but like I kind of don't care because the Joker's in it. Like, aren't you fucking tired of the Joker? There's so many
tired
Batman
of Joaquin
villains.
Phoenix's Joker.
I would imagine it's only going to be there to show how he becomes Red Hood. Like, they're not going to keep him in the series. Like, they have a Batman, but he doesn't do anything. He shows up for a couple scenes here and there to talk to somebody, and that's it.
I mean, I have to say, like, watching this trailer, like, I actually didn't hate the trailer, and I found myself watching it and thinking, I'm grateful that I know this is bad because I might have wasted time watching this fucking show if I didn't already have that information downloaded into me. So thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
But really, I mean,
this is coming from me, the guy who likes most everything.
That's what I mean. But that makes your opinion like way more. I don't know. If you always dig and try to find something good about anything DC related and you don't fucking like this show, there must be something seriously wrong with it.
It's fucking bad.
Can we talk about the real question, though?
What's the real question?
Does the Joker eat pussy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, except he actually eats it. Like, he bites. You know what I mean? Like, it's a like fucking nightmare.
Delicious. Did you guys want to talk about that? I mean, then now's probably the best time if we were going to talk about it.
Let's hit it.
So there was some recent, I wouldn't say controversy. Well, yeah, there was controversy.
It was controversy.
There was a reveal that there was a scene in, by the way, I just sent the picture of the supposed Joker. It's a good shot. That's a good iconic shot. Yeah. There's a scene of, or a supposed scene. Yeah, right. It's framed well. There's a supposed scene, I've said that 18 times already now, of Batman eating Catwoman out in Harley Quinn season 3, the animated show. The one that me and Sky have tried to get Derek to watch to no end. It has not happened yet.
Just can't do it.
One of these days it's going to happen.
Dude, it's
what do you mean
good.
You can't do it?
I watched the first episode, just didn't do it.
You did watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
It wasn't for me. I'll give it another shot. Maybe I was in a bad mood, Street. But
no, you gotta like give it like more than one. Like it takes like I think 2 or 3 episodes before you get introduced to all the different characters that are on the show.
That's true. The team is not like
the team gets built.
It just felt so we're DC characters, but we're also millennials, right, gang? It just felt so like they were reaching out the TV and trying to jerk me off. Like, all right, I get it. I see what you're trying to do. Relax. But I'll give it another shot. I'll do
Harley
it for you.
Quinn to reach out of the TV and jerk them off.
Yeah, Kaylee Como, man.
What's wrong with you?
She was on that show with John Ritter.
Ron Funches as King Shark is fucking just a joy. He's fucking hilarious. When you gotta wait at least until King Shark shows up. He's fucking great. So there was some controversy around this apparent scene that Warner Brothers said was a little too far for the show, to which I would say, what? The show's rated R. They do all kinds of ridiculous shit. Why would that be above bar? I think it was a fake memo that someone released, because I doubt DC would ever explicitly in writing say Batman does not eat pussy. However, that was the general gist. And so many people came to the defense of Batman's cunnilingus skills, abilities, wants, desires.
I gotta tell you, when people call it cunnilingus, it makes my skin want to turn itself inside out. It's crawling so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you should do it more.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like when you hear someone call their significant other their lover, or hear a man call a woman mademoiselle.
Right.
I bet you Jello calls women mademoiselle. Hey, Jello, fuck you. I'm kidding. You don't do anything wrong to me, Fat Tony. So like Zack Snyder put a picture up that I think he had an artist draw for him. It didn't, I mean, obviously didn't appear in any fucking comic books of Batman going to town. He said this is now canon. There's just been so much support for a hilarious thing that, no one really asked for. I don't know. I mean, I could see why a corporate knee-jerk reaction would be no. At the same time, this show does a lot of ridiculous shit. I mean, it's, spoiler alert, kind of centers around the are we or are we not in love with each other and maybe lesbians between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. It was just it's really sweetly done. It's a really sweet. That's one of the core reasons why you should watch it, because they handle that very well.
I honestly think that's why this scene was unnecessary, because it handles romantic relationships and even like the physical aspects of those relationships in such a mature and respect. Like it doesn't feel, everything about the show is like so over the top and like meant to like shock and awe, except for the romantic relationship, except for like the interpersonal relationships where it's written so well. His characters are so three-dimensional and so real.
But is it like BoJack Horseman three-dimensional? Like,
no,
I guess we're just two people who live in the world.
Look, I gotta fight you on this because BoJack Horseman is a fucking great show, and I get so mad at you every time you make fun of it.
BoJack Horseman is a show that like pretentious college kids think is deep. I'm sorry,
both of you so much. It's such a good show.
Like I guarantee you, Wes Anderson watches BoJack Horseman. You know what I mean? Like,
oh well, fuck you. Now I'm against you too. All right, you lost another one. Way to go.
We gotta even out the playing field here, boys. No, but
we all gotta stay mad at each other.
Yeah, but Harley and Ivy's relationship was so like beautifully written. It's one of the most realistic relationships I've seen in any comic book, movie, cartoon, anything. And the fact that it was like a sleeper hit, like this show gets you in the feels, and you don't expect it ever, man. Because it's at face value, it's raunchy humor, like just over the top violence, but it's got a real heart to it, and their love story was like the centerpiece, man. Mm-hmm. So I understand them not wanting to like offset that by having like a gratuitous sex scene between Batman and Catwoman that probably like doesn't really move the narrative forward, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, it kind of like tarnishes what they built, which is like a really beautiful love story with this backdrop of all the things that the fanboys love and want.
Yes.
Beautifully said.
No,
I have nothing to add because I haven't
but
watched it yet.
Also, Selena Kyle's Catwoman, she put her leg behind her fucking head and lick her own pussy. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
You're supposed to be a cat. We've all seen them do it.
She's a strong, independent Catwoman, and she don't need no Batman.
Yeah.
Didn't DC, I don't know if it was a fake image. I had suspected it was, and I'm assuming Chris can tell me whether it was or was not. Didn't DC apparently put out an official statement stating that Batman does go down?
Well, that's what I was referring to earlier. I'm pretty sure it was fake, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought the controversy was fun, and I wanted to talk about it, so we did. There we go.
Very good.
Keeping in continuity with DC news, our next trailer is a second Suicide Squad trailer, which I didn't expect, and I gotta say, I love this one too. It's very clear to me that they're making Idris Elba the emotional arc of the film. Mm-hmm. They kind of introduce him up on Front Street. Oh, sorry, fuck that up. Right up on Front Street. And show like what his kind of compulsion to join the Suicide Squad is. Looks like it's his daughter. I also have to say that it was a reminder that Viola Davis is a fucking powerhouse of an actress. Yeah. Because there's a part of this trailer where she screams, and I was like, oh,
you like get scared like, through the screen a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not even in this movie, and I'm frightened by her authority. Okay. I don't know. I thought this movie was really fun. It
this
really
is the
revolves around
Chris's mommy dommy fetish. It's just Viola Davis bringing it out in you.
Yes. This trailer really does a couple of things. One, it gives you a little extra character moments with all the people. But there's really like the Weasel helicopter scene, which was pretty funny, and then there's the main arc of like why Idris Elba's there, and then kind of interspersed through all that is more stuff that we already knew, right? They're clearly going after Starro or Project Starfish, whatever they were working on that is now out of control. There's jokes here from Harley Quinn and from King Shark. I don't know. I just the soundtrack on this trailer was also really good, and I'm stoked for it. I can't wait for it to come out. Honestly, it's August 6th, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
This is an HBO Max.
It is.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah, you kind of said everything. I don't have anything to add other than just that John Cena's comedic timing is so good. Like ever since he started really acting really and not just being like, having 2-minute cameos in movies, like he really is a fucking hilarious. I can't remember the exact line, but paraphrasing, it's something about like, wouldn't you say a starfish also resembles a butthole? She's like, I guess. Like, it was just, I don't know. It was just hilarious.
Oh, he said starfish is slang for
a butthole.
Yeah. That was really fucking good. I also, I forgot, I was kind of skimming the trailer while you were talking to kind of remind myself, and they're in the helicopter, the weasel bit, and they're like, we think he's a dog, and they start guessing, and Harley says werewolf, and then Pete Davidson's character starts flipping out because he's like, I'm next to a fucking werewolf. it's really good. Scott, how'd you feel about the Suicide Squad trailer?
It looks great, man. But more importantly, Chris, how do you feel about Idris Elba's graying beard, right? I know you have a thing for graying actors, and he's
looking good. He's looking ripe for the picking.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying that Derek and I are gonna have to hire a Rule 34 artist for all of our gray and glory hole needs.
I want to let the listeners know that I was going to go on Fiverr and hire somebody to make Rule 34 of all of us. But I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to initiate. I didn't know how to initiate the conversation. Like, hey, can you draw a cartoon version of me and all my friends fucking?
Yeah, but it's a joke. It's just a joke.
yeah. He's like, sir,
anything. It's just a joke,
sir. Don't be embarrassed, sir. This is what I do for a living.
I promise it's just not for my personal collection.
Who's gulping, who's load? Just let me know. He's like so professional about it, and I'm so
he's like, no, sir, it's okay. I just have a couple of questions.
How many fingers in your whole fist in your butt? I'm like, no. Will anyone be peeing on anyone else in the picture?
I'm going to collab with you on this. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make it a reality.
No, please don't make it happen.
Especially now because it makes Chris uncomfortable. We're definitely doing it.
That makes it way better. But we have to save it for our 134th episode now.
Yeah, we missed the mark. Or 69th. Ooh, that's the sex number.
Ooh, man. I don't know why I made that sound.
That's okay. We're a bunch of sleepy boys.
I am Sleepy Boys.
Yeah.
Speaking of being sleepy, I'd like to thank our non-official sponsor, Bang Energy. I'm drinking peach mango this week. There's a lot of cool flavors like cotton candy, Star Blast, Rainbow Unicorn. You can get them all at your local store. There's 0 calories, no carbohydrates, no sugars, and they'll get you feeling like you're hyped up.
They're going to hear you doing that advertisement and sue you for defamation.
Yeah, we're going to get sued now. Yeah. They're like, wow, he didn't even say all the facts. Get rid of him.
Get rid of him.
Didn't even mention the vitamin B.
What about the vitamin D? You know what I mean.
Talking about that dick.
Yeah, so the fucking Suicide Squad trailer looks like a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
That's the general consensus.
Yeah, can't wait. What's the release date on that? Do we have one?
August 6th.
Okay.
End of the summer. Can't wait.
Hope I don't die by then.
Okay.
Why would that happen? I hope you don't die by then too, just for the record.
You ever have that thought? You're just like, oh man, no, you know, like hope I'm around to see that. Hope.
No, the last time I felt that way was when The Force Awakens was coming out. I hope I lived to see that. And now I'm like, I probably should have died, right? It would have been, a little better if I just skipped that whole trilogy.
Just think of all the Make-A-Wish Foundation kids who got to see like Star Wars: The Phantom Menace early,
and they had to die knowing that was happening. Yeah.
I feel like if I was watching, I would have flatlined as soon as the credits rolled.
Fellas, I'll watch the prequel trilogy.
My wish would have been that I would have died an hour and 45 minutes earlier.
Halfway through the movie, I actually changed my wish.
Dude, the whole what's that movie called? It was based around the fucking you killed Scott. Oh no, you got him. Takes a lot, but you did it. Oh, what's our shtick gonna be whenever Scott starts crying and can't talk?
I think we're just gonna be so surprised that it's happening that we're just gonna do this until he's back.
Right, that sounds right. That sounds good.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so next up on the docket is something I didn't know was happening, and it is happening very soon, and that makes me very excited. So I have to start off with, as much bashing as we do of this particular network, this is coming to the CW. Asterisks aside, this show is called Wellington Paranormal. It's actually coming out July 11th, so it's coming out in less than a month. This is created by our boys Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi. I had no idea this was happening until this trailer came out. Did you guys know this was coming out?
I thought we talked about it on the show, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I could have sworn.
No, there was a different series that was coming out like in the future about pirates, I think, that we were all excited about. But I don't remember talking about Wellington Paranormal. So this is like a spin-off of the What We Do in the Shadows universe. I don't know if it's supposed to be set in the same one, but it was spun off from that. And it looks like this group of police.
Well, those are the two same officers from the movie. It
is.
Yeah.
Okay, well then it's clearly a spin-off. I don't remember them being in the movie. It's been a while since I saw it. Oh yeah, okay, I'm dumb right there. A spin-off of the What We Do in the Shadows 2014 movie and the first television series in the franchise. Is it Minogue and O'Leary that first appeared in the film as a pair of incurious police officers? It looks hilarious. It's like a mockumentary style, like paranormal police force. It's got the exact same dry humor that we all know Jermaine and Taika are known for, and it comes out next month. I'm very excited. I can't wait for it to come out. This first aired, I think, in New Zealand. Like it's not a brand new series. It came out in July of 2018.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of getting like a re-airing over here. So it's weird, but I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it could be cool. Like I wasn't wowed by the trailer, honestly. Like it wasn't. I'm not saying it was bad or anything. There were moments that made me laugh, but I always worry, like, whenever you have a beloved cult franchise like that, it's almost like how small it is almost what makes it good. And once you like, oh, let's make a movie about these characters and a show about those, it's like, all right, now you're kind of taking away what was good about it. Like, not every single little thing needs to be fleshed out. Short and sweet sometimes, gets the job done.
Right.
Not that I'm saying I'm going into it negatively. I'm going to watch this. It's the only fucking show that's ever been on the CW that I like plan on watching. But yeah, no, it was a funny trailer.
God, how'd you feel about it?
I can't wait for this show to get canceled.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I had a feeling that's how you felt about it.
Yeah. I think this is like, it doesn't need to exist. It just doesn't.
Of course not.
What a perfect cross-section of this show, though. Can I just say? Chris loves it. I'm middling. Scott hates it. That's just pretty much.
I just like, to me, like, it's you said it's from 2018?
Yeah.
So why didn't they just put the whole fucking thing on Hulu then? Like, put the whole.
I'm not sure.
It's stupid to me that they're gonna try to air if it's like a weekly. They're gonna air it on a weekly basis. Like, people don't have access to VPNs and the fucking internet. The fuck, like, really? I didn't know that, and like now that I know that, I'm doubling down on fuck this. It looks.
Oh, I should have stopped reading a little earlier.
It looks fine, but like it doesn't look. I have no desire to watch it. You know what I mean? Like if this is one of our weekly requirements, if I had a cyanide capsule, I'd bite down instead. But then you guys could do paranormal, spooky antics, and then talk to me in the afterlife.
That would be cool to have Ghost Scott on the show for the rest of however long we end up recording for.
What really got me is the werewolf thing, where they're like, it's just so like Looney Tunes. Like, we think you turned into a werewolf last night. You ran out the door. Like, why do you say that? Werewolf door. You're like, and it had, like, the fucking ears of the werewolf. It's like, what the?
Oh, I loved that part. That was.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was good.
I fucking loved it.
It looks like all right. So Reno 911 was a huge success, but also like that show after like 1 or 2 episodes, you're like, all right, I'm good for like a month, right? And all like most of these mockumentary style, I didn't expect it to work with What We Do in the Shadows. I ended up loving that movie more than I can even like say. And I was really hesitant about the show going into it. But I think what really is important is casting. And they found the perfect cast to make a long form What We Do in the Shadows, where everyone's hilarious. Like everything from their mannerisms to the delivery of lines. These guys just aren't funny to me. Like they weren't funny in the movie. They were like the one part of the movie that I was kind of like, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense that they get an entire series out of like 2 of the most tertiary characters in the fucking movie.
Fair play.
Full of rage. Yeah, what Derek pointed out earlier is hilariously accurate. I'm always the eternal optimist, and then you two rotate between who's middling and who's just full of hatred on something.
It's true.
I love it.
It is pretty rare that you hate something. I love when you hate things, though. It's my favorite thing in the world because it feels like you've been.
Let's tell you, want to talk about Gotham? I can go. I could go for a while. I could really go. So okay. Wellington Paranormal. I'm looking forward to it. Scott's right. It does kind of bother me And even the comments on the trailer, I was kind of skimming while you guys were talking. There are people who are like, why not just give us all 3 seasons at one time?
Yeah.
It's not the first time they've re-released something that only aired overseas here as if it were new. But sure, if you want to go watch it all now, you can do that. It looks like, the Wikipedia article I kind of trolled through to get some extra info. They recorded season 3 of the show just aired this year in the original country it was made in, I think. And they recorded some COVID-19 like PSAs as if they were the local police department that were comical that I'm probably going to have to go find because it sounds funny. But anyway, we have one more trailer to talk about. Again, something I added in today. The trailer actually released back in March, but I hadn't heard of this film. Maybe I'm the only one. It's a film called Night House. Rebecca Hall, she played the very forgettable doctor from Iron Man 3 who Tony Stark, she was kind of bad but kind of good, but ooh, was the most depth they had in that whole movie. She plays a character named Beth. It's called The Night House, and I don't understand this trailer. So I liked the trailer. I actually, just to get it out on Front Street, to use a term that I fucked up earlier. I did like this trailer, but it feels like they showed too much, right? So just to spoil the trailer, they go through that she's in this. She's a widow. Her husband passed away. He built this house that they live in. So weird shit starts happening. It's creepy. It's spooky. That's the trailer, right? What they gave away what I thought was a big twist, which was there's some mirror house and mirror her, and to the other her, she's the ghost. Why would you give that away? It felt so fucking dumb to me to do that.
That's a lot of trailers now. They give away. You feel like you saw the whole movie within the trailer, and it almost makes me
I hate it.
Not want to go see the movie. Which in this case, I'm grateful because this looks fucking stupid. It looks really dumb. It's going to be every horror movie that has released since 1998. It's just the same. There's always one every year. There's The Grudge and then The Ring. Oh, those are actually 2 pretty good examples. They were pretty all right, but you know what I'm saying. There's always
that
some
Harrison
new,
Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer one. You know what I mean?
Michelle Pfeiffer's.
You know what I'm talking about? What Lies Beneath, right?
Oh, that was not Linklater. Anyway, that doesn't matter. And yeah, no, I think it just looks dumb. It looks like cookie cutter standard horror, and there's going to be a couple bah! There's going to be a scene where it's high and tight on her face like this, and some shadows forming behind her, and her eye's going to be like this. It's the same shot in every fucking movie. People are going to forget about it in 2 years. It just looks dumb. I mean, the concept of having a mirror world, cool, they're doing a Junji Ito thing, but I guarantee they'll fuck the concept up without a doubt.
Probably.
It's just going to be that the original one dies and the mirror version stays, but we find that out in the end in some weird way, her freckles on the wrong arm. 100%, I fucking guarantee it.
I can't wait to see if you're right. Well, all right, Scott, how'd you feel? So, I don't know. Scott was probably going to be middling because you hated it so much. I don't know.
I hate to be middling, but I'm fucking middling. Because
yes,
but it's because they give away so much in the trailer. I have high hopes that it's more high concept. There's a chance that it will be exactly that copy paste. What Lies Beneath, the Others bullshit. But if they're giving away that much if they're putting that much on Front Street, there's got to be a bigger twist to it, right? But also, what's I find myself saying that and wanting to punch myself in the dick for wondering what the twist is. Why does every horror movie need a big twist now? Why can't it just be scary? Why can't it just be a linear, straight, well-told story that scares the fuck out of you? If it can scare the fuck out of me, consistently and without doing The Conjuring and going down to that cheap, weird, scaly hand bullshit that all those movies just sustain themselves on. I
like Substain better.
I mean, yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. It's been a rough year for horror, especially. Most of the horror releases have been direct to video. And most of them have been not great.
Except for Psycho Gore, man.
I mean,
choice
was pretty good. The campy, I loved it. This is directed by the same guy who did The Ritual, VHS, Southbound, The Signal,
You got me automatically at The Ritual. The Ritual was fucking phenomenal.
You kind of got me at VHS too. VHS.
I liked VHS.
Decent.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen
encouraging.
The Ritual. Who was in The Ritual? The Ritual?
Ritual was a Netflix, or it was on Netflix, and it's about these guys who go hiking in the Black Forest.
Oh, I remembered I was going to watch this and I never did. Is it good?
It's weird, but the special effects are really cool. And I enjoyed it, man, for what it was. And I mean, for like a random, as you put about the Last Guardians, whatever the fuck they're called. It's like one of those random Netflix finds where you're like, oh, I was expecting this to be complete dog shit, but I'm stoned, and now it's great.
No, I mean, it's got like decent reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like in the 70s. Like that means I probably would enjoy it while saying it like, well, this could have been better, but still think it was a good movie. It's usually where that registers. Yeah. You know?
It was good. But like I'll say that like visually those movies are all incredible. They're also all very high concept. Like VHS took found footage and made it like
actually scary and not the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked VHS a lot.
Yeah, actually scary, but also they did like that Tales from the Other Side kind of thing, or that, you know, like where it's compartmentalized with an overarching story. These guys are watching these tapes, and then, you know, we all know how it ends.
Yeah. Remember the chick? There's one where he's like in a hotel, and the chick's like, "I like you." I still like think of that sometimes and just feel like ice cold water.
Oh, I forgot about that.
She was creepy. She was like a bat creature, right?
She was like, yeah, something like, I can't remember what the exact resolution of it was, but that one fucking scared the shit out of me.
She had wings. That's all I remember.
You know, there's Rule 34 of that. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
VHS Rule 34.
Yeah, I'm not looking that up. I don't know. I think that Rebecca Hall is a pretty decent actress. She's been in a lot of stinker films.
I hate her stupid mouth. I don't know, something about her mouth just bothers me.
Her stupid mouth.
Yeah.
And this so this
is the way you hate her mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing it. I'm coming on it, baby.
Oh, what a throwback. He was ready. All right, that wraps up our trailer review.
All right, I gotta pee and I gotta check on my son. Both of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta grab a beer and order a pizza.
Okay. You know what I bought?
Mm-hmm.
Not to keep you, because I don't want to spread apart the return times. I bought a couple of those reheatable dinners from Wawa tonight because I'm feeling like I want to hate myself. And my wife and I wanted to test them out and see how shit they were. So I got 3. I got penne Alfredo, I got the spicy boneless wings, and we got the mac and cheese with the pulled pork on top. And I'll report back and let you know which of those 3 kills me next week.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me know which one makes your poo-poo's the most uncomfortable.
All right. Go get your beer. All right, boys. You can, once again, I do this every time, but look, if you're here already, you're obviously listening. If it's your first time, hi, hello, welcome, how are you? My name is Chris. I don't think I introduced myself yet, but you can find us on Twitch and Twitter. That's my outro. Whoops, fucked it up. Hey, Scott, you can still hear me. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. You can also find us on Twitter at thecynicalnerd. You can tweet at us. You can ask us a question with hashtag AskTCN, AskTCN. You can also tell us something we got wrong, or tell us something you don't like about us. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Hashtag #FuckTCN. You can also email us at questions@thecynicalnerd.com. And you know what? We don't have any emails this week, and I know because I did the research, and that makes me sad, boy. Okay, we need emails. We need tweets. We need things to respond to, you know? Do you want us to roast you live on a podcast? Do it. Give me some fun facts about you. I don't care. We're up for anything. We'll sell our souls. The devil, clearly, as we already discussed in this episode. But more so, we just like to interact with you guys. I know there's a lot of listeners out there, a lot of lurkers. That's totally fine. But if you want to tweet at us, you want to email us, you want to find us on Facebook, all those things are there for you to do. You can also find us on YouTube, although yours truly has been slacking a lot in getting the video versions of our podcasts up. I'm like 2 episodes behind. I will be catching up. I know some of you like to watch the video only versions because you like to look at our dumb faces, and you know
they are dumb.
They are dumb, and they are faces.
Baby boy, I got that midnight snack. I don't know if you can see that can.
Nice. I'm on vacation this week, and I thought that meant I'd be drinking every night. However, you're taking my boy to the aquarium tomorrow morning, which means I can't get all shitty tonight because we got to wake up at like 8:30.
Oh shit. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing Thursday night?
Thursday night? I don't know. Wednesday. Sorry, guys. We're talking about our plans until Derek gets back. It's his fault. So tomorrow we're doing aquarium in the morning, and then I have band practice tomorrow night. And then Thursday I have no plans because Thursday is kind of like a me day. Samantha's going to hang out with her friend. My son will be at his babysitter's. I was just sitting in boxers all day and jerk it. I don't know. Just hang out.
Well, I was gonna say we should play some games on Thursday, but not.
I'm down for that.
If your hands are sticky, you gotta wash them before you touch that keyboard. Otherwise, you get cummies on the keyboard.
Yeah, and cummies on the keys.
Yeah. You can't wash out the keyboard with water.
Yeah. Take the keys off. You gotta clean it with alcohol swab on like a Q-tip.
Yeah,
that's not true. I heard spit's the only thing that cleans off cum. It's pretty well documented. All right, moving right along.
I've done the research.
How's your boy? How's Odin?
He's good. He sleeps like this.
That's adorable.
And it melts my heart. And it's just cripples me and makes me not be able to think of words, apparently.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's what they do. That's how they get you. There's an early, it's pretty obvious the three of us all like Tom Segura, but there's I think it's his disgraced episode. It's when his kids were younger. And he's like, it's like, I know now why they are cute, because if not, you'd fucking kill them. But I love my son. Like, he's adorable. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along, we got some E3 coverage. I'm probably going to let Scott take the lead here because I think he's in the trio of us. He's the one that hates this the most. We're probably doing I'm gonna place a bet. I'm not gonna do this for everything we do going forward, but I'm gonna be middling. I think Scott's gonna hate it. I think Derek's gonna be the optimist here. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong. I'm throwing it out there on Front Street. Scott.
Wait,
how do you feel about the Nintendo E3 announcements?
You said that you well let's take it announcement by announcement, shall we? Let's do a breakdown.
Okay.
Let's do a breakdown as if we're giving our own E3 coverage a week late, but also like the first game on our roster is 16 years late. So what the fuck does it matter if we're a week behind on our commentary, right? This game was supposed to be a DS game. I shit you not. What, like 8 years ago? 9 years? Like when was the DS even relevant? I fucking forget. Was it 2008?
I think it literally was about 2008.
I have a theory about this game.
Go on. Weave some deep dark lore for us, Chris.
It's not deep dark lore. Metroid Prime 4 was announced like several years ago, and it's still according to industry news, it like the company that was working on it got like fired because Nintendo wasn't happy with the shit they were doing, and they literally started again from the ground up with a different development company. Mm-hmm. And I think that Nintendo went, shit, we got to give them something. Hey, that Metroid game you guys are making for the DS all those years ago, why don't you dust it off and we'll release it on the Switch
for $60 for the price of a full
$60.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have a deep attachment to the Metroid series. I know it's blasphemous. I know a lot of people love it. I have at best only played parts of some of the games, and that's it. This is supposed to be the 5th entry in the like original storyline of Metroid. I don't particularly.
What a way to shit on the legacy of a great series, though, right? Look at this fucking game. Look at this game. Like, you guys couldn't call Moonlight Studios. Look at Ori. Look at the Ori series. Look at how beautiful that Metroidvania game is. Look at Hollow Knight. Look at all these incredible games that have
the same animation style. That have the exact same animation style. They're all hand drawn. There's always like some new thing, like procedurally generated levels. And then that was great at first, but then you're fucking exhausted by it because you take level design and you throw it out the window when it all just happens in a split second before you load the level.
I mean, dude, look at the levels in Ori and tell me that there's not an attention to detail and a love put into them that is clearly missing in this gameplay trailer.
I disagree. I love I have a couple thoughts on it. The first is this.
I was right. Sorry, continue. Go ahead.
The first is, initially, I don't know where I got this from. I thought Igarashi was attached to this, the guy who did like every good Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow, Symphony of the Night. I don't know where I picked that up from. Every time I've tried to like look that up since then, I can't find it. So I must have, I don't know, pulled it off of a weird forum or something and took it as fact. I don't think he is attached to it. So I am less interested in it knowing he's not attached to it. I'm less interested in it knowing that they're selling it for $60 because I would have assumed.
It does not look like a $60
it doesn't.
game.
It doesn't.
I would have a $20 digital only download.
I would have assumed it was like $30, like Bloodstained, which, speaking of Igarashi, was totally worth the $30 that I paid for it. It is weird that it's full price. Despite that, I'm not saying I'm going to buy it when it's $60, although Nintendo never drops their fucking prices, but I think it looks great. I think it captures the soul, and the little bit that we've seen, the soul of the original with all the sounds and the different. It looks very fucking fluid, which Super Metroid was, but still puts a new spin on it. I think, dude, every second of gameplay we've seen, I think looks so tight. I think it looks fucking awesome.
Even the cutscenes look like they belong on a GameCube, bro. Like it's so like I know Nintendo's like. We're not in the arms race for graphics capability. Like that's not been their game for the last decade and a half. But like it seems like they're not even trying here. Like I see.
You know what it looks like? Oh, I gotta wait for him to hear this because it's gonna be good. Sorry, I just puffed up my own joke. Now it's gonna suck.
All right, but
I don't know.
I think it's going to look like. Did you remember the Saturday morning cartoons that were CGI?
Yeah,
and they clearly didn't have the budget for it.
Beast Wars, 100%.
Oh, Beast Wars was some shit. I don't know.
I mean, no, Beast Wars was the shit. But like, if you go back and watch that now, like it doesn't
look great. Yeah,
yeah, like you know what I mean. Like, and my big concern here is that like, it seems like they're taking the assets from the game they had made before, and they're adding like all they're doing is adding cutscenes, and even the cutscenes don't look great. It looks like they scaled down the cutscenes to match the graphic capabilities they have for the original game they had built. I would understand taking the game and rebuilding it, but it does feel like it's like a rushed cash grab, man. Like it really like
check out chat real quick.
Yeah,
and my screenshot spoils it for you because I have the Mario face. But I was going to say Beast Wars or Metroid. It looks like Saturday morning CGI. It's not good.
It's reboot.
I don't look. I love
Metroid.
I it's not even that. I know that this is blasphemous. I've never been a huge fan of side-scrolling 2D shooters. I just haven't. I know it's blasphemous. I know a lot of people like it. It's old school, it's nostalgic. Just never really been my thing.
That's fine. That's good.
And that kind of compounds my like. I don't really give a shit about this. Like it. I really wanted a Prime 4. I fucking loved Metroid Prime. I loved it, and I would love that whole series. And I
never
really
played
wanted
any
a 4.
of them.
No, you haven't? Oh,
no. And apparently they're really good, but
they're really good, yeah. But they also mix in certain sections where it is still 2D side scroll, like where you are crawling through a passage in your ball form and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll crawl through her passage in a ball form.
You know, there's Rule 34 for that, Chris.
Probably.
There's a lot of Samus.
There's plenty of Samus.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'll
say too much.
But the thing is, man, it just feels like we're starving, and it's like they're giving us a snack to hold us over. But it's like imagine if like you were getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner and you were starving, and someone handed you a handful of black jelly beans to hold you over. Like, wouldn't you be fucking furious?
The licorice flavor,
black jelly beans. I'll agree with you on this. I'd feel way better about this if it was $30. I'm gonna give you that. Like
I'd feel way better about it if it was on a handheld console where it belongs.
There's no arguing
kind
that,
of a handheld console.
No, I mean,
I don't know. I think it looks fun.
It can be.
I have a carry-on case that
your Switch is a transformer, right? It's either a Mack truck or it's a robot. It's an Autobot. It's a robot in disguise.
Transformer bullshit in disguise.
But there's
That's
no
the Switch's theme.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
just Derek. I don't know, man. I want to be excited about anything Nintendo, but I feel like I have nothing but bad things to say about Nintendo.
I don't hate Nintendo as much as you guys do. I'm not like a Nintendo fanboy or anything.
I don't hate Nintendo. I just haven't been a fan of what they've been doing recently.
I grew up with Super Nintendo, man. Like Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong Country. Like Donkey Kong Country is one of my favorite games of all time. Best platformer ever, I think. But it's just Nintendo has just like they've removed themselves from the competition where they act like they don't. For a while, it was about innovation, not pushing out the most frames per second, not pushing out the the best graphics.
Right.
But now it seems like they're not even. It's like we're Nintendo. We don't have to worry about innovation anymore. And I mean, I get that your console is both a handheld and a console. That's brilliant. And the Switch Lite is just a handheld. But it's like they're not even. This just feels like they didn't even try. You know what I mean? And like that to me is what's like worrying, because I feel like a lot of their biggest properties, they just rely on that built-in fan base that's gonna buy it because they want more of it. And we see it all the time with a lot of franchises. We see it with Zelda, where not every game is really as genre defining or even as fun.
You're absolutely correct, but like just for all I can speak for is myself on this. I'm not a huge Metroid fan. Like, I only ever played Super Metroid all the way through. I never played 1 and 2 all the way through. And like I said, I never played any of the Metroid Primes. There was like some on Game Boy Advance people really liked, and I tried to Metroid Fusion. I tried to play back then, and it just didn't catch me. So like, I'm not this like huge Metroid fan or anything. This just looks like Super Metroid, though, is one of the iconic games of my life. It's still in my top 10 to this day. And the gameplay in this just reminds me of a tighter Super Metroid. It looks like it plays well, and that's what I like about it.
Okay.
I mean, I can't deny that this screenshot that you put in the disco looks like it's in Beast Wars, but
I don't doubt that the gameplay is going to be there, because it's always been consistently tight in almost every Metroid game, and they also made a seamless transition from 2D platformer to 3D, and they kept that same tightness in the controls.
There's
always like a lot of care that goes into that aspect of the games, I think, but but for me, like, if you're gonna, I felt the same way about like the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. They're selling us 2D platformers that have the same graphical capability as the GameCube or the Wii U at this point, and they're putting a $20 price tag on it because they know they can fucking do it. They know that people are gonna buy them for their fucking kids. Here's your game. Put it in your handheld. Put your headphones in and shut the fuck up for this 8-hour car ride. It's honestly like Nintendo has built their brand on being the family friendly, because they know if they're mostly family friendly, that's exactly how it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna play out. Play your game. Shut up. Like, that's kind of.
Love you, son. But the Switch is coming for you.
No, it's like I honestly feel like Nintendo like I feel like a lot of Nintendo's a lot of their sales are just probably shitty parents who don't want to deal with their kids. Like Nintendo, like parents used to always tell us like that the TV was the babysitter, or like they would say that TV was the babysitter for bad parents. Now it's the fucking Switch or the iPad, bro. I see so many shitty parents on a daily basis whose kids are just like screaming and they just hand them an iPad and they instantly shut up. And they use it like
seem also like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. It's just the shut the fuck up box is all it is.
My son has an iPad.
Do you give it to him whenever he's being bad?
No.
Do you reward bad behavior with the thing he likes?
I do not.
Then you're a good parent.
Yeah. He beats the shit out of him savagely until he's bloody in the face.
Yeah, when he's bad, he turns black.
He's a great parent. He's a fucking great dad. Keep it up.
No, when he's bad, he goes to timeout. He doesn't get a fucking reward.
You don't make him throw the baseball until his wrist hurts?
No. He's got his throws coming in though. It's like a dad milestone when like because before, like, I don't really have anything to whatever. Let me find something random. My beer bottle opener. Before he'd be like, and like it would just fall. Oh, and now he's throwing it like that. Actually,
and you have to be like, good job, but you know he didn't do a good job deep down.
You're like, oh, this isn't even a participation trophy for you. Anyway, I kind of had an epiphany while you're talking. I don't know if it's 100% checks out, but the next thing we're talking about is the Breath of the Wild sequel teaser. Now, they're not announcing the name of it yet because, according to one of the game directors, announcing the title would sort of give something away. I don't know what the fuck they'd be giving away, but whatever.
What an intricate magical narrative they must have weaved if the title spoils it.
Let me tell you a question.
Fuck you mean?
I bet you Zelda's going to be in trouble again, and he's going to have to ultimately beat Ganon to free her and fix the kingdom. I'm just throwing it out there.
Isn't
I know
anybody
it's a crazy theory?
Aren't there any other dickheads in Hyrule, or is it just Ganon? Like, everyone else is cool, but Ganon's like this giant cock for hundreds of years. Again and again.
I don't dig that because it's in any like popular action movie, it's the same story again and again with different characters. It's the same thing again and again, but you don't care because it's a new scenery. It's a new
but sometimes they try to at least lie to you about just lie to me a little bit. Put them in a different outfit and call them a different fucking name. Like, I don't, I mean,
like, how many times have you had to put on a red tunic to scale Death Mountain in your Zelda career?
Like, let's make it like Nanag instead of Ganon. Just turn his name around or some stupid shit.
Like, let's be realistic here. A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. There's at least a few others in there. What was it? Was it Twilight Princess? You need the red tunic.
Twilight Princess.
Actually, never played that one.
Skyward Sword. I think you also need the different tunics. It's like I understand where they're coming. I understand where they're coming from. They have a formula that works that the fan base will eat up whatever they're gonna do. So they implement a new gimmick. Like, now you're a wolf sometimes. You okay?
Yeah, I just got a little Charlie horse. Sorry.
Okay.
You know how they just sneak up on you sometimes.
Yeah.
Just take a little nibble at your little feet.
Exactly. Just a little.
Yeah. Like, and you'd be like, that's not a carrot, that's my feet.
Them's my feet.
Scott was in the middle of bashing Infinite for me. The epiphany I had earlier was that I've kind of realized I have lots of reasons that I particularly didn't.
Your fates.
No, that's my feet.
You ain't calling this but a little nibble.
What are you, like a horse from Family Guy? That's what you sound like. You like the horse version of the creepy grandpa from across the street.
I'm gonna wait till you sleep and leave my poops and your kicks.
Leave my poops and your kicks.
I got some popsicles in my basement.
You ever heard that fucking? I remember crying and rewinding that like 5 times in a row. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Chris.
All right, no more referencing Family Guy. It'll be the end of all of our comedy careers.
Yeah, I agree.
No more. That's it. Put it in the chest. It's done.
My complaints about Breath of the Wild are the same as most people who weren't into it, which is that I thought the weapon breaking system was what?
I couldn't hear you there.
Oh, okay. I thought the weapon breaking system was stupid. I didn't like the cooking system after like the first 3 times I did it. The world felt really empty to me. I play Zelda games, which I think most people do for the dungeons, and this had like 4 dungeons and like a bunch of just like puzzle chambers, essentially, is what they were.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fulfilling to me. I didn't like it. I didn't particularly hate it, but I wasn't on board with it. I stopped playing after like 8 hours or something. I never finished it. And I realized listening to Scott talk about how the Switch is a console, sure, to the dock, but it's also a mobile game, a mobile platform. And I feel like they develop so much in mind with it being a mobile platform that Breath of the Wild felt like a full Zelda game that was a direct to mobile release. And like, to me, it just like eschewed like, yeah, the world's a little empty because we're making it for a handheld, so we don't have as many resources. It felt like that to me. I'm sure that's not what they were going for.
Well, no,
but I don't. It felt like a mobile or a portable version of
you raised an interesting
Zelda
point.
game.
I'm sorry, you raised an interesting point because it's like all those little puzzle rooms, like all those little shrines, are compartmentalized. It's like one room of a dungeon. So if you're on the go, you got 10 minutes for your lunch break. You're waiting in a doctor's office. You can do that one little shrine in that time period, but you're not gonna have time to do an entire dungeon. It feels like it was designed with that in mind, and that you can take on these challenges one at a time and fuck off. It doesn't matter because you can complete these tasks so quickly. And
yeah, it feels like development with the mobile aspect or the handheld aspect in mind, and I don't like that because this is supposed to be a full console, and I want those big meaty fucking dungeon. I want the water temple. I want something that's gonna suck up a bunch of my fucking time. And you know, if it had been more like that, and the world felt a bit more populated, I probably would have stuck around. And I've told myself I want to go back and try it again, but I don't know. Anyway, with this latest trailer, it looks like there's some Skyward Sword reference. I didn't play that game, but a lot of people are talking about that, especially with it looks like you're skydiving into like different islands and floating terrain and stuff. I don't know what's going on. I got to be honest, because I wasn't super into the OG one, I'm not pumped about this. I don't really care, to be honest. And that's a shame because it looks better. It doesn't look as Scott was saying earlier, the graphics on this look fairly good. It's because they went with the stylized, cel-shaded-esque cartoon that it can look better, but still, it does look better. It looks more like a full console game, and I will be disappointed if it's the same thing, where there's only like 3 or 4 dungeons, and then there's a bunch of puzzle rooms, because that was the biggest check off the annoyance list for me. Let's not talk about the collectibles that were literally like little golden peas that did nothing once you collected all of them. Like, that was just bullshit.
Well, they did.
Let's get
throughout.
some
You would get your inventory space increased when you went to the forest and turned them in.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, you had to go to the village. Like, was it
Korok seeds.
No, I'm talking about the village that you go to where you turn them in. That big dancing guy.
Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know. It was where the Master Sword was. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But
let's get some positivity in here. Derek, how'd you feel about this trailer?
It was hardly a trailer, right? It was just like a showcasing of a couple little diddles here and there. Again, it's actually similar to Metroid. As much as I like Zelda, I'm not like a huge Zelda fan. I've actually only played a few Zelda games. I've Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past. I played some of Twilight Princess, some of Skyward Sword.
Why didn't you finish those?
What's that?
What if I ask why you didn't finish those?
Twilight Princess I never finished because I always only played at a friend's house. So like it was only ever when I was there. I never owned it. And I didn't finish Skyward Sword because I just don't like motion controls. Like, I just don't like.
That's
sometimes
fair.
you just want to sit down on your couch and turn the lights off and just play a game. But like when it's like 2 a.m. and you're just trying to get this dungeon done and you have to like flail your arms around. I don't know, just something about it.
It was annoying.
I played a good chunk of it too, and it is a good game. It was the least Zelda game, though, I'll say. It didn't feel like a Zelda game at all. I'd say the second least is Breath of the Wild. They kind of deviated from the formula a lot on that one, and a lot of stuff people didn't like. I didn't mind it. I actually just played it last year for the first time, so it did take me a couple years to play it. I didn't mind the weapon durability system. It made you have to try new shit. You don't just get a good weapon, use the same thing for the whole game. I loved the moment when a weapon would break and everything would go slow-mo for a second. And you go, oh shit, I have like literally 1 second to think about what the next weapon I want to use in this scenario is. I don't know. I liked it. If you got enough Korok seeds and increased your inventory enough, it really wasn't ever like you were running out of weapons. So it really didn't bother me. I don't blame people for having that complaint about it, though.
You know what it is, and this is totally, and I promise this is very short because I don't want to cut you off. You know what it is about the weapon thing? Personal preference, I like investing in something. I like this type of weapon. I want this type of weapon to play with. I'm going to make it more badass. I want it to be mine. So it made it feel pointless to care about any of the weapons you use. And I just didn't like it. It's just not for me.
That's the primary complaint about Breath of the Wild 1. So I imagine with the second one, they'll likely address that in some way. Maybe you can repair
I kept
weapon.
an eye on the trailer, and like he had like a bow and a sword and a shield, but they didn't really look different throughout the trailer. So I'm hopeful that they just got rid of that aspect for the sequel, because I'd be already like, I'd say like 20% more stoked.
Now, is it possible to break the Master Sword?
No.
Okay.
No, Master
But
Sword
how
never
far
breaks.
into the game do you get that?
You can actually get it early on if you focus on getting hearts enough. So the thing with the Master Sword is it takes time to charge, so it's at like max strength when it's glowing, and then once you use it for a couple minutes, it's not glowing anymore, and then it does like reduced damage. So it kind of doesn't make sense to use it. Yeah, so it's still kind of built in a way.
So they found a way to ruin the coolest thing about Zelda.
But if you finish all the Master Trials, it's always fully charged. Not that I ever did that because that would take forever. Anyway, without focusing too much on the first one, the last thing I'll say is I agree. The actual dungeons, the divine beasts, were very uninspired, and they all had the same. It's like you felt like you were in the same place in all four of them. Like they all looked the same, felt the same. I liked the shrines though, because they were just quick little puzzles, nothing too like mind bending. It's just like quick little brain teasers, and then you're done and you get a Korok seed for it.
But there were an absolute fuck ton of the shrines, right?
Like 120 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Cut them in half. Give me 5 fully fleshed out dungeons instead. I'll take that.
You gotta make it 8 dungeons. You gotta make it 8. Sorry.
And also the fight with Ganon at the end is one of the best final boss fights I've ever done in my life. It was so
don't make
fucking
me play that
fun.
game just to play
so
the final boss for you. Don't make me do it.
Don't tell me that.
I have it. I'll do it. I can play it right now. My Switch is right here.
It's so good. There's a certain phase that he's in that he shoots a laser beam at you. You go, what do I do? And then you realize, oh, I have to deflect.
I'm gonna do it.
And every
it's
time
on.
You just throw his fucking laser beam back at him and then charge in and slash the fuck out of him, dude. It's so fun. It's so
you guys
epic.
keep talking.
All right,
I'm gonna start playing.
It's 2004 again. We're using Epic again. Sorry guys, we brought it back. But anyway.
Oh wait. Oh, Nintendo just fucked me, and I'm not gonna play it. Breath of the Wild came out on the previous console, and I bought it on the previous console because
on Wii U,
much like most modern day releases, there's nothing when the console launches that's worth buying the console for.
Yeah.
So I bought it on the Wii U. There's no way I'm plugging that thing back in anywhere, and I'm not paying $60 for Breath of the Wild because I guarantee it's still $60.
Yeah.
So sorry, not playing it.
That being said, this trailer, it wasn't much of a trailer, and it looked interesting enough to me. I actually wish that they would stop doing this thing where like, oh, one thing was a success, so let's make a direct sequel to it. I think that Nintendo with things like Mario and Zelda and like their big IPs do best when they just move to a whole new fucking thing and do something totally new. I know like Odyssey, it's the same thing. I fucking loved Odyssey. They did so well with the first one that they're doing like Odyssey 2 now. So I'm just worried we're going to see a trend. As much as, again, I loved Odyssey and I'd love to see a second one. I'm worried we're going to see a trend now where it just turns into Odyssey 3, Odyssey 4, Breath of the Wild 7. It's just like, I think it's just better to just like, all right, we worked our ideas out on that sort of concept or that gimmick, as Scott was saying. Let's do the next thing. Let's figure out what the next thing is and try that out.
And that's the thing, man. Like most for Zelda specifically, most of their innovation in the last 20 years has come on handheld platforms. You know, like the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. There's Minish Cap. Like they had some really interesting concepts they did, but they were all on like Game Boy Advance and you know.
I hated those ones. I will tell you that the one on 3DS, A Link Between Worlds, which is a direct sequel. I'm contradicting myself now.
That's 4-player, right?
No, that was the season one. Link Between Worlds was a sequel to Link to the Past, just like 20 some odd years later. Fucking great game. Yep.
Still $60 fucking dollars, and this game is 4
never drops
years old. It's 4 fucking years old, and I purchased it on a previous console.
I'm just gonna say Nintendo's not going to last another 20 years. They're not with the model they have. They're not right now. Like a majority.
Well, none of them are. Nintendo will be the first to go, though. I agree with you, but none of them will last another 20 years.
That's so fucking crazy.
You don't think?
I would have bought it if it was $30.
You don't think Sony will still be around? They have so much. They have so much money.
So, but even they're talking about putting all their exclusives on PC now. Like at consoles as they exist, dude, mark my fucking words. They will not exist. Not 20 years, 10 years. They won't exist the way they do now. We're gonna see consoles, and I anticipate it. I'm excited for it. Where you can switch out your GPU for a new GPU.
Well, yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's not going to be the same static system. Like that's going to be dead very soon.
But I'm saying as as far as companies go, Microsoft will outlive all of the others.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan
I meant
of Microsoft.
the console. Yeah, not.
Yeah,
not
no. But I think Nintendo as a company, like they're going to see themselves go on to be a third-party developer within the next 20 years because they mismanage. Like they got lucky. Like if the Switch wouldn't have been the critical success it was, which is mostly due to convenience, right? The fact that it is a mobile handheld console.
I like the console.
Yeah, but if the Switch hadn't been a success, they would have been done. The Wii U bombed so hard they were like in the red for the first 2 years of the Switch's launch.
Yeah,
and even now they're mismanaging all their biggest IPs. I feel like, and their failure to like look at PlayStation and Xbox's like even their exclusives the following year on Black Friday are discounted like 75%. You know what I mean? And then afterwards they're at like a 50% price point. Nintendo's stubbornness and unwillingness to like reduce prices on their exclusive IPs. Like I would love to play Luigi's Mansion 3. I'd love to play Mario Odyssey. But I'm not playing it for $60 fucking.
Dude, and that's been for our whole life. Like, that's not a new
I know.
thing.
It's so fucking crazy.
I remember when PlayStation 2 games were out in Walmart, you had a PlayStation 2 rack, and they still had the N64. Like, right before that went, Super Mario 64 was still full price when they were selling. 2 console generations away now. No, that's actually just one. But, and they were still full price Super Mario 64 on like
and Mario 64 was
game.
It was a launch title for the 64. It's insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like from the very beginning, like, it was like 8 years old.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's plenty to be interested in Nintendo, but for the price that they're asking for it, with like Metroid being a prime example. Oh God, that didn't mean for that. I didn't mean to say that. But nobody caught it. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
right.
it took a second. Yeah.
I was too busy still being astounded over how fucking expensive Breath of the Wild is. I mean, I know it's a thing. I've talked about it. People have talked about it in gaming for years.
Yeah.
How Nintendo gets away with it. You know how they get away with it? Because you can't find that game cheaper even through third-party apps. Yeah. And that means if I really want to play it, I'm going to give the fuck in and pay $60.
Yeah, but like,
guess what?
Listen. Can I just tell you
the people
something?
who simp for Splatoon, the people who like have a hard on for Luigi's Mansion 3 so hard they have to pay $60 to play it. Like, let's be real, man. You know what I mean?
All right. But Breath of the Wild, okay, don't spend 60. Don't do it. Splatoon, certainly don't. Odyssey is worth your money. Odyssey is a fucking incredible game. It
is actually pretty good.
Die on this hill. It is a fucking incredible game. So good.
I'm ordering it on Amazon right now. If I hate it,
it's pretty good.
If I hate it,
if
I hate it,
I'll give you 50% back. Mark my words, 50%. I will.
As a new parent, that's a generous offer. I'll accept that.
I'll
accept that bet.
That's why I didn't offer $100.
I'll take.
If it was like
as
4
a new
months
parent,
ago,
I'll take. As a new parent, I'll take money out of Odin's mouth gladly. Let's do this.
No. I have a feeling that he's so, like, he has to be double certain. You have to be so.
Oh, without a doubt. No, you'll love it. I know it. But
his hat talks to him, and his name is Cappy, right?
I'm on Derek's page. Odyssey is a pretty great. I didn't finish it, but it is a very, very good. I don't know about incredible. It's a good Mario game. It's pretty fun. I 100% recommend it. Yeah, right. And that's fine. I bought that when it was new, when it was worth $60 still. I bought it on the Switch.
I feel wrong paying $60 for a game that's been out for 2.5 years, though. I gotta be real with you.
I'll be real with you guys. I'm downloading the Cemu emulator right now because there's no fucking way in hell I'm paying for Breath of the Wild. Fuck you, Nintendo. Suck both my nuts. Anyway, boys, we gotta keep moving on.
We gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long tangent. Fatal Frame is back. I didn't play the originals, and this is a remake and not a new one. I don't have anything to say about it. Scott, how do you feel about Fatal Frame coming back as a remake of Maiden of the Black Water?
Oh my God, boys! Mario Odyssey's $40 right now.
Whoa! Hey,
our overlord Nintendo is feeling gracious. Yeah, let that sink in. Odyssey is 40. Breath of the Wild still 60.
But it's also for Prime Day.
Fair.
Yeah,
it's still yeah. All right, you know what? Yeah, we'll do.
How do you feel about Fatal Frame, Scott?
I love them. I think they're terrifying. Well, at least they were back in the PlayStation 2 era. I'd like to see how it's going to translate to next gen, though. You know what I mean? The trailer looks cool. I'm hoping that they'll have some kind of weird motion control where you actually physically, like, in camera move your your fucking Switch to get the picture. You know what I mean? I understand. Yeah. I understand that they can't have that being exclusive control mode because people are gonna be playing in the car, in fucking, in love seats, in their computer chairs, in bed. But if you want to play it that way, I think that would be a really cool mechanic, and I hope we see something like that implemented. That's all I got.
Cool. Derek, did you ever play Fatal Frame?
I know nothing about it, and this trailer seemed like horror Pokemon Snap to me. That's the best way I can describe it, which is interesting enough. Depending on how much it costs, I might play it. Like, if it's super expensive, absolutely not. But for a couple bucks, I'd play it.
That's fair. Yeah, all right. I mean, I don't have anything to say about it. I just got to move on. The trailer was not... we've discussed this before. I'm not a huge anime / just the whole like she's running around in what looks like a schoolgirl's blouse. I don't know, and skirt.
She actually is a Japanese schoolgirl though.
Yeah, okay, so that, just proving my point. I'd like to thank you there, Nintendo and Scott.
The game takes place in Japan, and she's a teenager, so it makes sense.
Yeah, she's not like a 28-year-old.
Yeah, but the setting sounds more like an excuse.
She's also not a 12-year-old. Well, these are J horror games, man. You know what I mean? Just be thankful there's no fucking tentacles coming out of the sewers. You know what I mean?
Yet.
Right.
Yet. We're going to move into our main topics, and boy, did I put Sweet Tooth first, because this has been burning in my soul for the entire week, and I have to know how the boys feel about it. I can see Derek keeping on to his straight face.
I want to go first.
He's going to go first. So Sweet Tooth came out on Netflix a couple weeks ago at this point. We're a little late to the show. I quickly devoured it. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I've already said last week that I enjoyed it. And these two have been keeping... I messaged Derek separately. I was trying to put the sweet talk on him. Ruh-roh. We didn't clap either. I hope he just accidentally... Oh. Did you click exit by accident? You fucking...
No, I'm trying to fix your fucking mic, because I can't hear you half the time, so I figured if I disconnect and reconnect, maybe I can hear you.
Yeah, I've been getting the same thing.
You didn't stop recording though, right?
No.
All right, cool. So it won't fuck up the other track. Okay. It's Discord clipping it, and I don't know why, because we said that last time, and obviously the podcast was...
You're gone that entire sentence.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I have no idea.
Can you go into your audio settings and just turn down something?
I don't know what's wrong with it. We could potentially be sitting here for 15 minutes in the middle of the podcast while I turn knobs to see if something maybe works.
Nobody touched your knobs just yet.
I'm just saying, maybe input volume would work just for Discord.
I don't even know why it would be clipping. I don't have time to do it in the middle of the podcast. I'll just back up for my mic and hope that it doesn't do it. How's that? You guys can hear me okay?
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, fine. Anyway, so these guys have been holding their opinions off and not telling me, and I really, really, really want to fucking know. And I'm just gonna make Derek go first. Derek, how'd you feel about Sweet Tooth?
Hey, yeah, glad to finally talk to you about
this. No. Hang on. There's not gonna be a preamble here. I need the answer.
There's gonna be a preamble.
Oh, god damn it! All right, well, you preamble, and I'll look at my audio settings.
I had such a weird relationship with this show. I really did. There are so many things about this show that were unbearably terrible, like just inexcusably should not belong in a modern day television show. And it was really fucking hard at points to get through this show. I thought there was a lot of cheese on a lot of episodes, like too much, like a little bit is fine. For one, let me just say, you could make this show instantly 60% better by just 86ing the narrator entirely. Like, I don't even know why he was in the show. Like, it's this like futuristic apocalyptic thing. And then there's this front porch wisdom guy named Jerry just explaining everyone's what they're thinking. Like, and none of it like, he never actually said anything, right? Like, it was always like, only two things happen. What you think's gonna happen, or what you don't think's gonna happen. Oh, cool. So the entire fucking spectrum of possibility will just split into 50-50 immediately. Just by being vague as fuck. Every time he spoke, I knew in episode 1 I was gonna hate him, but I figured I'd become like inoculated to it eventually. No, all the way up until episode 8, every time he talked, I got like viscerally angry, just like red and sweaty. Just the worst. Terrible. Second worst thing about the show is all these like John Legend tier like musicals where they're doing like a feel good montage. Like, what is this, fucking Spielberg in the 80s? Like, I just don't get why that, like, it didn't add anything. Like, there was no point to it. Really, really corny shit. Really, really hard to bear. Just the soundtrack in general. I would describe the soundtrack as stuff that your mom thinks is folk music, like Mumford and Sons, right? It's like, why do we have these like segments where we just have to see like them running through a field while like Florence and the fucking Machine plays in the background? Like, I don't care.
Well, someone says like a foot pedal and a bass drum.
Did you finish this, Derek? Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing because here's the thing: there was a lot that it did really well too. So like, I kind of was in love with it by the end of it. And that's what I mean when I say I had a bizarre relationship with it. There was so much that I hated, and I were things I think are like hallmarks of very bad shows, but it did enough well. I feel like the interpersonal relationships between everyone were really well done. You had like believable flaws in people. Like I'm so glad that they took Jeopard, for instance, and they could have made it just easy. Like, oh, he has trouble trusting people, but no, he has like a drug addiction. Like everybody's known an addict at some point in their life, like the struggle of dealing with a person like that. And a lot of addicts are good people, just like Jeopard is deep down in there. You just have to go digging for it. I know we're just doing kind of first thoughts initially, so I won't go too deep into it. I'll say this. I'm glad we have the 2-episode rule on this show, because if I had just watched, I hated the first episode, like almost front to back. I did. I thought every scene that Will Forte in was worse because Will Forte was in it, which is crazy because he's excellent.
I love Will Forte.
And in like, whenever he popped into the rest of the show, I think it was episode 7 was the flashback between him and Birdie. Yeah. Very, very sweet episode. Like it was very well done. There was just something about that first episode it was just cheesy. Like it was just corny.
It was
the show.
But that was the world he had constructed for.
Sure, but we didn't know that then, and I think that's why it was cheesy. It was too much at once. But ultimately, I think it ended the way every season 1 of any show should end: just a musical chairs of all the characters, and you took, they paired up the most interesting characters they would, the people who have the most to gain or lose from one another. So obviously we knew like Sing and Gus were going to end up with one another. But I like that Jeopard and the woman at the zoo ended up with each other. I feel like they're kind of, we're just doing first thoughts. Anyway, ultimately I actually ended up really getting into the show. And that's it.
Cool. Before Scott talks, I adjusted a couple settings that may have impacted how Discord was recognizing my voice because it's on automatic voice activity. Anyway, did you not hear me?
Yeah, for like 10 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's picking it up in the recording, so fuck both of you. Anyway, Scott, how'd you feel about Sweet Tooth?
Can you ask me again?
How'd you feel about Sweet Tooth?
I think Derek kind of said it perfectly. Like there were, if I never would have finished watching the show if we didn't have the 2-episode rule. It kind of reminded me of like Paddington Bear.
Oh, so you finished it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like,
Paddington Bear.
Like certain parts of it, man, were like really, really. Like really well written. I thought the characters' relationships were realistic, but I also agree that like some episodes go on for way too long.
Way too long. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is like I wouldn't have had a problem with the length of the episodes if we would have gotten as a result more narrative for each of these. Obviously, they have to hold back to a certain extent so they can have a cliffhanger for their season 2, right? But I mean, I loved most of the characters in the show. I loved the way their relationships were portrayed. I really like Bear. I really like how but it also felt kind of weird how like a switch flipped. Instantly, everyone was just against her. I mean, it felt like we didn't spend enough time in that world for that transition to make sense. I feel like they rushed certain parts of it. Are you guys hearing a hum at all from me?
It was probably me. I'm fucking with my settings still.
Okay. Yeah, it felt like we didn't spend enough time within that like world of the animal army to really understand how. Like they give each other a couple shitty looks, and next thing you know, like there's a full-on mutiny. It didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
I loved Big Man. I loved everything about him.
He's a honey.
He is.
He is a honey, dude.
He's an absolute. Really and the thing, like the moment I knew that I liked this show was as dumb as it is. He goes back for Dog. He goes back into the train.
Dude, excellent. Yeah. That was a great scene. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like it was really good.
Yeah, and
dude, in the scene after that, when Jimmy Jacobs, who's like has all the concussed, mental issues, is like fighting the dudes off and like thinks that he's back in a football stadium, like that was so fucking well written. That scene was so sad.
Yeah. But you can also tell that he's already completely forgot that someone else was on the train because he's like, "Who are you talking? What do you mean?" And like it's not, and he's like not, he's not like pulling a fast one on him. He's legitimately like, he's not there. You know what I mean? And you see it in every scene he's in.
I audibly laughed out loud when he was like, "Hang on a second." The guy's like, "Why?" Because I'm gonna knock your lights out. I don't know. That fucking scene was just, the whole thing was so good to me.
It changed something else. Just a heads up in case you hear anything weird.
There's so many great parts of the series. I feel like the general is a great antagonist.
Yeah, he is.
Thus far, like we don't see a lot of them, but he's charismatic in the same way that we talk about like the Joker or Pagan Min being like a piece of shit, but still like you kind of hang on every word because you want to see like what this person's gonna do.
Yeah.
Inside thought. I'll tell you later.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really liked it. I don't have much bad to say about it, except for like it did go on a little bit longer at certain points than it should have. Felt like it dragged at certain points, and at other points they had to kind of rush things to get it all in there at the end. But and the pinky thing. Like why would you only have a shaking pinky from some kind of like fucking degenerative virus? Just your pinky shaking. Eventually, does your hand shake? Does your big toe wiggle? So. Like what other tells are there? All they give us is that people get sweaty and their pinky twitches. That was I get they have to simplify the physical representation of it. Like they have to give us like a visual so that people can like catch on. But that felt like really dumbed down, right? Like that felt like really like a watered down oversimplification. That
didn't bother me for some reason. It was like they were always visibly sick. And then the twitch was almost like you're not just normally sick. Something's affecting. Like,
but they also never really go into like what the sick is. Like they don't really go into whether it gives you whether it's like you get like some kind of cognitive issue, whether it's nerve damage caused by it. They don't really explain that away to the point where it's not just a silly little thing. But I expected to hate this show.
The name The Sick, by the way. Can I just say that? The Sick. Even the illness would be better, but The Sick.
What's wrong with The Sick, Derek?
Oh, I just hate it.
Are you not down with the sickness, Derek?
I just gotta tell both of you guys.
Will be better.
I don't appreciate being edged. Okay, I'm not into it. It's not a kink of mine. So for both of you to withhold mostly positive opinions of the show that you know I liked for a whole week, I want you to both know, not happy about it. All right.
But you like these big Cummins you're getting right now, I bet.
Yeah. I got
juice was not worth the squeeze.
I gotta be realistic though. Like, or I have to be honest. Sorry, I'm drinking a 14%er. Gonna get words switched up here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's that midnight snack.
Scott.
That midnight snack. He's a big one too.
Oh.
Yeah. See,
that's a big ol'.
He looks like a Dark Souls boss, right?
You think
just here to fuck my kidneys and liver up.
Right about the same width as Jeopard's dick probably is, right? Like
without
just a big old IPA.
At least.
But after us watching that Charlize Theron shit show last week, I found like some level of like weird like primordial enjoyment out of keeping you waiting and guessing.
No, On Guard was not that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Both of you are fucking dickheads. All right. We have more stuff to talk about. I obviously.
Hang on. I just want to before we do that, because I know we gotta burn through the rest, but I just want to real quick. Who were your guys' favorite characters in the show?
Ooh, hard choice.
I'll go first, just to butter up your balls. I really like Dr. Singh. I don't know why. I feel like he was really believable.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I feel like where he ended up makes the most sense. Like, he's in this predicament where he has to find a cure for the sick. And he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to help General, what's his name, Abbott or something?
Abbott, yeah.
But of course he wants to save his wife. And their love is super palpable. A lot of chemistry on scene between those two. I just feel for him that he's in this predicament where like the one thing he wants to do to save the one person he loves is going to benefit a person who he fucking hates. I just thought that was an interesting direction to take his character.
Yeah, but tell me how fucking satisfying it was for... the Karen of that village to get kicked by the horse.
Right in the chest. Wasn't even the neck, so you know it wasn't instant. She felt it all the way down.
I was legit thinking like I would just kill this fucking this thick bitch. Yeah. And then like and then instantly karma took place. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Maybe you did it. Maybe you willed that into the show.
I fucking hope great. So, right?
Yeah.
yeah. That didn't actually happen. You were like a choose your own adventure.
I could live with that blood on my hands.
Okay.
Like thick molasses, right? She definitely had diabetes.
Besides saying that I like the show, I didn't really talk about it. I think the thing that I would say is that while the veneer was clearly a little more angled towards like a younger audience, I think that it handled like really dark themes throughout the show without being like overly visceral, but like they're clearly experimenting on kids. Like sure they're hybrids, but they're kids, and that's a dark fucking topic. And I think they did it. I think they did it very well.
Show of hands, who would fucking die for Bobby?
Oh my God, I forgot Bobby. Oh my God. Listen, I don't want to be dramatic, but if anything happens to Bobby, I will never watch an episode of the show ever again.
Bobby's my favorite character on that show.
I would shit out my own face violently through my dick to protect him. Don't fucking hurt Bobby. He's the best. How did I forget Bobby? He's the best character on this show. I'm sorry.
Because he's just a wee little guy.
I feel like I overreacted.
No, that feels totally justified because Bobby is also a precious baby.
He must be protected.
And now your paternal instincts are kicking in, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to scoop him up. Just hold him.
Yeah.
With that beard, he basically looks like he's yours.
Yeah. I'll give you some milk. It's your mom's. It's not mine, but I'll give it to you.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
I thought that was a Rule 34 for a second there. Guys, oh no. Do you think there's a Bobby Rule 34?
No, I don't want to know. I don't know. This is a part of his protection. He must be protected. Do not send me Bobby Rule 34. I swear, I can't handle it. I can't. Don't do it.
I'm starting to get like a tension headache, and laughing really hard is making it worse. But that deserves lots of chuckles. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I'm glad you guys did too. The second episode of Loki has aired.
There's Bobby Hill Rule 34.
I was just going to search for Sweet Tooth Rule 34. I doubt you'd get specific like Bobby Rule 34.
You can just Google furry porn. It's the same thing, right?
Little beaver boy.
Oh no. All right. So next up is the second episode of Loki that premiered. This one gave away a decent amount of information. So we spoil everything on the show. FYI, if you're watching the show, they kind of they tell us who we're supposed to think is the primary antagonist, which I don't think is going to be the primary antagonist. But theories aside, they show up with Lady Loki, or who we think is Lady Loki, which this was the rumor that I had talked about. And I didn't mention in the last episode, which was that early on there was casting rumors of a female actress, and it was her, Sophia Di Martino, and they thought that she was going to be playing like a Lady Loki because Lady Loki is a character that exists in the comics, and they thought that was like a twist that was going to happen. So that was the thing I thought was going to happen. Didn't want to spoil. I'm not gonna give away the bag. I want to know, Scott. I want to know how you felt about Loki episode 2.
I love this show so far. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I understand that it probably doesn't need to be as long as it is, but I don't mind it because every extra minute we get of screen time in the show is exploring the TVA, right? And kind of fleshing out a whole other aspect of the MCU we haven't seen yet. I think that same as last week, Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston have an incredible chemistry on screen together. It also seems like the evil Loki has a really clever scheme that I can't wait to see unravel. I'm just into it, man. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I don't think this week's episode was like a mind blower or anything like that, but it did have a cool little twist on the end, and it's hooked me in a way that no other Disney Plus MCU content has so far.
Word. I think I know how Derek feels about this episode, but I'm gonna let him go before I feel that. So Derek, how'd you feel about episode 2?
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was okay. I think that
I saw you post something on Facebook about like Norse mythology and hating it or something.
I just saw a
and I was like, oh, he totally hated it.
Yeah, no, I didn't hate it. It wasn't bad. It's just okay. I think people are blowing the show up a little more than it deserves.
That's fair.
I will say this because I'm usually I start with the bad things and then go into the positives. I'm going to do it the opposite. I think that Loki does. It's at least aesthetically more interesting than any other Disney Marvel show that we've seen so far. Like it's doing something a little different. I just love the like Fallout inspired aspect of the TVA, and it's sort of a mix between that and like I said with episode 1, like this sort of monotony of like a government agency building, like you're at the DMV or something. And even the way the bureaucratic processes, I just think that those are funny. I think that creates good spots for humor. I think that Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston surprisingly have excellent chemistry. Like the way they bounce off each other. They really do. Their dry humor is very funny. I think Tom Hiddleston is always a very charismatic guy. But as far as like the plot of the show, like it's standard fare to me so far. It's nothing crazy new. I think the Lady Loki thing was pretty predictable. There's only one reason you would take a variant, like a copy of your main character, and keep them shrouded in a silhouette, because there's for some reason something's totally different about them. And at the beginning of the episode, they went on about how sometimes their appearances differ. So it's like, all right, it's either a Loki that's a person of color, which would have weird connotations to make the eviler Loki be, someone of color.
Oh God, can you imagine that?
That's what I mean. Yeah. So that's not it. Or it's a woman. So obviously they went with, female
the other
Loki.
Minority. Yeah,
is there female Loki rule 34?
Of course there is. Well, I don't even have to Google it to tell you.
Yeah.
Don't even have to Google it.
Didn't do them horns do, girl.
I mean, it's okay. Like it's again, like I don't want to come across like I'm trying to be contrarian. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's corny. It's not shitty. It's just okay to me. That's it.
That's fine.
The question is, what periods in time did this female, like this other Loki, just alter? Because if they're parts of the main MCU that we've seen on screen already, we could get a really, really interesting season where Loki has to go back through and fix all these pivotal moments of the canon that we've already seen, which means we could get some really big cameos and also some really interesting. Because for one of my favorite parts of Endgame was where you see them go back and they're in New York again. Like I thought that was really cool, them being back at the original Battle of New York and seeing how it
favorite part.
Well, I'm sorry.
Big shocker there, Derek.
Yeah, you don't like Steve Rogers having 2 on screen gave you like an anti-boner, while the rest of us were all 6 to midnight.
It actually turned his peen into a vagine.
Yeah, outie to an innie.
But come on, it just felt like, we can't come up with a new set. Let's use some of the old ones. I don't know. That's just.
Well, I mean, when the entire set's green screen, does it really fucking matter?
I mean, let's be real. The whole point of that sequence was.
I can't tell if you're agreeing with me or arguing against me, but I'll just nod.
No, it's like 50-50 of both. But at the same time, though, like for them to revisit that moment and show it from a different point of view, I thought was interesting. And if we're gonna get something like that out of this series, where we get like, because they're gonna have to compartmentalize the rest of these episodes, right? It can't be one long run on. Right, like if
you say that,
well, if they're going for him, if the formula that works best with this kind of story building is like X-Files, Sliders, what's the really offensive Quantum Leap, that one was really racist a lot of times.
Yeah,
really, the one where he comes back and he's like a mentally challenged guy and he just looks in the mirror and goes, I'm retarded. Yeah. That show is not aged well at all.
Yeah,
but if they're going the Quantum Leap, Sliders, X-Files route, they have to compartmentalize episodes, and the best way to do that is to have them go back and fix all these different variants that she's created with these, right? Like with her weird time erasing, because she used those boxes they used to clear a scene where a variant has occurred, and she sent them back to different points in time. So who knows who or what was erased if it was carefully calculated by somebody who's familiar with the what do they call it? The what timeline? The
Sacred timeline.
Sacred timeline. So we could get some really cool twists on stuff we've already seen. And that's honestly like one of my highest hopes, is to see things from a completely different perspective. Like things we've already kind of seen, but maybe weren't flushed out as well, or to see like a live action version of What If. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because these things could change any narrative. Like if Captain America is blinked out of existence during World War II, what happens? You know what I mean? Like Loki could have to go back and figure out a way to fix that. You know, it could be really, really interesting. That's what I want to see, but the hopeless optimist me wants to see that, but the cynical black heart that pumps sludge to my body knows that we're not going to get those cameos because they can't afford Chris Evans for an episode of Disney Plus, right?
It also means that not only did Steve Rogers know 9/11 was happening and just let it happen, so did Owen Wilson. It's canonical now. Owen Wilson
did
let 9/11 happen. I don't know if he did it.
Could you imagine if like Loki took them back to 9/11 to find other Loki? How fucked up that would be.
That would be like great to just be there, like at this point in American history. Like, are we beyond it now? Is it time? Okay, great. That would just be an exciting new chapter. Anyway.
Yeah. Instead of going to Pompeii, they go to 9/11. It's like, see?
I thought the whole like hiding in apocalypses was kind of clever.
Yeah.
I liked the episode a lot. I had nothing really bad to complain about. Do you guys want to hear the theory that I have? And I warned you, it's probably true because I'm fucking super smart, and you should all acknowledge that.
just because you said it like that.
Yeah.
You want to hear it? Okay. Yeah,
it feels like no matter what, we're gonna hear it. So
yeah,
I mean, if I have I'm like one of those videos on YouTube. Like, if I have the potential to be right and ruin something for you, I don't want to ruin it for you. So
are you basing this on something you've heard, or are you basing this on just something you think?
Based on something I think.
Okay, ruin me, Daddy. Ruin me.
Yeah.
So I noticed in the end credits.
Make me wider.
I noticed in the end credits that Sophia DiMartino is not credited as playing a character named Lady Loki. She's credited as Sylvie. Sylvie, I forget her last name. Basically, there's a character named Enchantress, not to be confused with the one in the DC universe, but the one in the MCU universe. There's some Elseworlds thing where Loki bestows some power onto a character named Sylvie Lushton, I think is the last name, and she becomes Enchantress. So I don't necessarily think this is Lady Loki. I think that's going to be like a reveal or something later on in the series, that it's not actually a Lady Loki. It's this person that Loki has impacted at some point. And that's why she was like, this isn't about you. I don't know for sure. And I don't even know what if that's true, what the impact that would have on the show would be. I mean, ultimately, what would it matter who she is if her goal is still exactly the same? But I have a feeling it's going to be something like that, because why would you credit her as playing Sylvie if she's not actually just playing fucking Lady? Or they're reinventing her and they're saying like she's using the name Sylvie because she doesn't want to be, because she said don't call me that when he was like, oh, you're Loki, and she was like, don't call me that name or some shit like that. So I don't know, but I
think you just solved the mystery that you proposed right there in that same sentence.
Yeah. Thanks for spoiling the whole show. Thanks, asshole. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're a real sleuth. Well, it's weird though, because now whenever I say the word sleuth, I automatically think cum sleuth.
Yeah, I mean,
Scott Kelly, cum sleuth,
a real cum shoe, you know. Like, oh, what is that? Oh God.
All right. Well, I'm surprised. I'm happy that Derek enjoyed it. Like I said, just based off that one Facebook post, I was like, oh, he didn't fucking like it. So
I just thought that comment was hilarious.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, I thought the whole like Rocksmart. There's clearly a nod to Roxxon, which is a company that's been a big player in the MCU space over the years. Or not MCU, the Marvel universe over the years. It's only been mentioned a handful of times in the MCU. I don't know. I think the show has a lot of potential. Initially, my idea was that what's going on?
Wait,
no, it went blank.
Wait for it.
I'm waiting for it. Edging me again.
Can't even see it. My fucking green screen.
No.
Breath of the Wild is 20% off right now for Prime Day.
Hey.
Yeah, but it's like a physical copy. I don't do that shit.
I don't do that shit.
Are you too good for physical copies? All right.
So send me the link. Maybe I'll get it. Who knows?
I don't.
I already downloaded the Simu emulator.
Yeah, and, just do that.
Was planning on doing that. Anyway, my brain formulated that the potential narrative for the show is that clearly the branch timelines that are splitting off. I think we're gonna find out that like the timekeepers are gonna be either like a Wizard of Oz type thing, like they don't actually exist. And they're just using them as like this, I swear we know what we're doing type background, because she's like, oh, they're busy. they're working. You can't see them. You know, like it was kind of like the don't look behind the curtain type.
No
thing.
one sees the wizard. No way, no how. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That was a good impersonation. Either
Thank
that or like the three of them no longer exist and like just one of them is running the show and like has turned bad or some generic shit like that.
Not to like repeat the same fucking theme again and again. But what if they pull back the curtain and it's just all three of the timekeepers just blowing each other in a giant triangle?
Fucking sucking. That's what the TCN Rule 34 should resemble.
Yeah.
The timekeepers all blowing each other.
No, I'm good.
Because time is triangular, right? You have the past, present, and future, right?
Yeah, but what we're trying to do is
the sacred timeline is the timeline where they all finish in each other's mouths at the same time.
Yeah. I'd like to be present in that. I'd like to be presently getting my ass blown out by Chris. In the drawing. I'm saying in the drawing. Would be preferable.
No, just in the drawing. Don't take it out of context.
Can we like have Rule 34 of us three, but like in the background there's somebody like in a furry suit wanking off, and we all know it's Nick, but we don't say who it is.
Yeah, we can't say that though. Can't say that out loud like we just did twice.
We can't. No, I promise, dude. It's not all sexualized.
No, sometimes it's just about being who you are.
Yeah, he's just pulling one out asexually.
I'm just saying the sacred timeline is like
asexual.
It's like the sacred timeline is just one cum stream, and all the offshoots are like the little splatters, and we're trying to coalesce them all into one web, one stream of cum.
Well, think about the most violent shot, like the most violent rope you've ever slung. Right? You have the mainstream, but
the most violent.
But
yeah, did it punch somebody?
I mean, like the most like violent, as in like forceful, right? Like they think of Mount Vesuvius, Mount St. Helen. Every rope has that mainstream, right? That goes whoop, straight up, and then gravity's a cruel mistress, so it comes back down. But before that even happens, you have those little fellas that split off to the,
little spleakers.
Yeah, little lone wolves, you know. And then
I need Scott to do like Foley for a porn video, so that when the guy comes, he goes whoop, whoop. Like a slow-mo comes out, you're like,
whoopity-doo, here comes the goo.
All right, anyway, we got to move on, but I will finish this thought, goddammit. My initial thought was that this series was going to show how they fuck up the sacred timeline. The show's going to end in some kind of disarray, and then Doctor Strange and Spider-Man films will wrap it up so that the MCU gets to delve into the multiverse, but then they clean it up and they don't have any loose ends afterwards. Like they're going to make some new normal at the end of those movies. And that's how they're going to bring in all the other franchises that they want to, probably. Yeah,
it's
like
going to be
Fantastic Four and X-Men.
It's going to suck. It's gonna suck.
The other
here are these 30-year-old people that you didn't know about for the entirety of our fucking.
They were in a multiverse.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But also imagine. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But also imagine imagine like the Fantastic Four being from another multiverse and not just being hated on by everybody in our multiverse. All the fucking racists and bigots of it's just. It doesn't make any sense that the X-Men were always shunned and the Fantastic Four were praised because of one was biological and one was man-made. You know what I mean? Or one was what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know. Never mind.
I wish I could help you. I want to give you anything.
What's the word for the greater the MCU that takes place beyond Earth? Cosmic.
Yeah.
One was a cosmic interference. One was just, regular old evolution.
Word.
I can tell when Chris is reading an article.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Intently off like this. He's kind of slack-faced a little bit.
Yeah, you're right, man. Racism is systemic and terrible. Yeah, word.
Word. Yeah. All right, we got to move on. So our next topic of the evening is... Did you guys both get to watch the Rick and Morty finale? Or premiere, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about Mare of Easttown, and then we're fucking dunskies, unless would you rather pee out of your butt or poop out of your dinker was actually a main topic tonight, Scott.
Oh, we forgot Luca. You guys all watched Luca, right?
Oh, we did. We'll grab to it if we have time. If not, no one comes here.
I've only got about 15 minutes here.
Oh, no, that's not enough time. We'll save Luca for next time because no one's coming here for family friendly movie reviews anyway.
Yeah, should I watch this with my kids?
I'll just say it was a joy. So, Rick and Morty season 5 episode 1 premiered. The only thing I have to say about it is that yes, I found it funny. I also it's just more of the same. Like I just think they do sci-fi concepts well, like the whole like this other world ages faster than the one that I'm in, and therefore all these horrible things happen. It's like typical Rick and Morty, but it's still, to me, very entertaining because the jokes are still funny and the characters are still doing silly shit. And I don't know how long it's going to take before this formula runs its course, but for now, having a good time. How'd you feel about it, Scott?
I loved this episode, but I loved it solely because of Mr. Nimbus and how fucking stupid he was.
Yeah. I just like his little
easily
his little
part.
We talked about like last week about how like like everyone has that girl or guy they slept with that they're embarrassed of, and that person starts like tagging them on social media like, oh no, people are gonna know I fucked her. Mr. Nimbus is Rick's dirty secret. Rick is embarrassed that this is like his oldest nemesis. From a simpler time, but I don't know, man. It was really funny. The fact he like controls police for no reason. This is fucking stupid.
He controls the police.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I didn't mean to like downgrade the episode. It was very funny. I really loved it. To me, I was just like, well, this is what Rick and Morty does. This is just, Well,
we ended last season with 2 Beths and like a whole bunch of shit going on that this episode doesn't address at all, which makes me think we're probably like Rick and Morty's so high concept that half these episodes probably take place in different universes and we just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think the writers know it either.
I'm just at the point where the thing is like there is a lot of
thanks, Derek.
There is a lot of lore in this show, and there is like a lot of like overarching narratives, but you just have to not give a fuck and just laugh because it's a fucking cartoon, bro. Like who gives a shit, really, right? Like I'm gonna enjoy this show. Probably until they cancel it, because it shares my sense of humor. Like dumb thinking it's smart. It's really like that's
agree.
Well, then buckle in because it's the next Family Guy, which that was the next Simpsons. It's gonna get 30 fucking seasons.
Oh, don't be so
Your
negative.
Fucking grandkids are. I'm telling you, it's gonna turn into that. Mark my words. Absolutely, it will. I liked the episode, but I just liked it. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like I didn't. At no point did I like. Bull over laughing. It was just funny. Like that was it. I had a couple nose laughs. I really like the time displacement thing where he like goes back and gets the wine and the dude goes back in and like his family's all old and shit.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like the initial one, I was like, I thought was really funny. And then by the time they did it the second time, I was like, oh, that's the theme of the episode. I wish it was just a one-off thing. Like, I don't know. It almost like lessened the joke for me that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just this nice guy, like, you just got to enjoy the moment. And then he goes back, his family's fucking dead. I was like, holy shit. I thought that was the only real like laugh it got out of me. The rest was like,
you didn't laugh when he like fights the son and then turns around and is like, wait a minute, he goes back in and like just beats, he's like an old man, like not even 2 seconds later, he's beating up like a 60-year-old man in front of his grandkids.
I
laughed at most of it.
The thing that always gets me about Rick and Morty is that this high concept sci-fi thing is just a B story. Like it's not even the most important part of the episode. Yeah. And that's always what Rick and Morty gets me with. It's like, I love sci-fi and I love that kind of shit. And just to see it like Rick and Morty don't give a shit about it. It's like it's an annoyance to them that they're dealing with this whole world of people that they've essentially just fucked completely. And I just really liked it. And I don't really have anything else to say about it besides I thought it was great and I'm looking forward to the next one. And yeah, I mean, I'll keep watching it until they start sucking. Pretty much how I feel about it. We'll probably still talk about it, but in the future, they're going to be like a week delayed because we have to record on the weekends, and this airs at 11 p.m. Sunday. So unfortunately, we're not going to get to talk about episode 2 next pod. We'll have to do it the pod after. However, I can't wait because I really loved it. That's it. And I still want to talk about one more thing before we go. So we have a couple minutes, yeah? Also, how's my mic been? Better?
Man. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, whatever you did initially made it worse, but it's been seemingly better past couple minutes.
Yeah, Discord likes to do a bunch of really annoying shit to make things better for the layman, aka dumb things down so you can't fucking break it on your own very easily.
Right.
And I think I tricked it into just doing what I fucking wanted to. Anyway, Mare of Easttown. Scott and Derek both watched it. Scott was definitely saying like this is a great show. But we never said like we should watch it as a group, and I just didn't. I don't know. And then Derek watched it and kind of on the download and said, "Oh, we finished it. It was great." And I was finally tired of not being in the fucking club. And Jesus Christ, I wish one of you would like have held me to gunpoint or threatened my son to watch it.
I feel like we did tell you to watch it.
I literally every week
point the episode out.
Every week in the Four Horse Cocks of the Apocalypse chat, I said this show is a fucking banger. Every week, immediately following watching the episode, dude.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone in the this is not. I'm not saying it's your fault. I really am not. I want to preface that.
Hurt me, insult me. Spit in my face.
No, it's really not their fault.
This is the Rule 34 episode. Like, you gotta get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Well, if it was the Rule 34
hold me
episode,
down and punish me.
Yeah, your punishment would be BDSM from Kate Winslet with a hoagie or something. I don't know.
Good luck fitting a whole hoagie back there. They go in the front and come out the back, not the other way around, bitch.
Maybe you do the reverse poopy like South Park. Like that's going to be two Katie Courics.
Intero recto gesture.
Anyway, the show is fucking. It was phenomenal. There was some really funny parts, some truly sad parts, and I feel like I've leaned on this as a crutch a lot since I've had a son. But like being a dad and seeing some of the shit that happens to kids in the city, I'm not gonna lie. So obviously, you guys know I'm a crier, right? Not take pictures of myself and post on social media, Kevin Smith crier. But Scott, there's a scene in the show where the fucking the we think reformed mom is spending time with her son and he's in the bathtub.
Yep.
And you think and I was crying before we even knew.
Yep.
I was like, as soon as she was like, "Oh, I'm getting tired," and I started like freaking out. I was like, "No fucking way! If they kill this kid, I'm turning the fucking show off."
I'm not even a parent, and I was like sobbing at the thought of
oh god.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, this show is like it's not like overtly violent or depressing for the sake of like it doesn't exaggerate. It just really portrays what life is like in a shitty fucking Chichester, really.
I live here. Help me.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it also, this show surprises you, like in a lot of. I thought you were frozen. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It subverts
Rule 34.
It subverts expectations, but not in a way that feels cheap. In a way that makes you feel dumb for not paying attention. The conclusion of the show, first I was like, "Oh, fuck you," but I was like, "Oh wait, he was talking to his son in the bedroom the night that it happened."
Yeah.
Then his son wouldn't tell the mother what happened. She assumed he was having an affair, kicked him out of the house, and the brother was going to take the blame. It's all this. It's all unnatural. Like literally, like the father was like, "I'm going to take the blame. You're not going to worry about it." And then the brother of the father, who has nothing to live for, basically, he's like this sad, lonely guy, who at one point had apparently slept with his fucking niece too, right? Then they all banged that girl.
No, I thought it came out that only the one had. Like,
it was just John, but everybody else.
They made the brother take the fall for it because he was like, "I have a family, I can't be implicated in this."
It was so brilliantly done. Where like, all right, they make you think that it was about John having the affair with the woman or whatever, and his brother comes in the one time and he's drunk or whatever, and he's like crying and he's like, "I'm tired of cleaning up your messes for you," and like the scene that preceded it was about John being unfaithful and sleeping with this woman like a couple years prior or whatever. And so the viewer go like, "Oh yeah, he's tired of that aspect of it, like him tarnishing the family name, and now he has to move him out of the house." Like, no, it turns out the whole time, obviously, he's talking about covering up for what his son did. I thought it was excellent, like literally super intelligent writing in that there were so many Kansas City shuffles. So many things that made you go like, "Hang on, no, it's this, no, it's that, no, it's that," but not in like a annoying shock factor way, like Lost, where they just do like the craziest thing you'd never expect. All of it makes sense when you look at the grand picture of it. Like all of it tracks throughout. You just didn't see it. It just led you in other directions the entire time, from like red herring to red herring to red herring. It was super, super good writing, great acting. Kate Winslet, like this is one of her best.
There's so much resolution too. You know what I mean? Almost ever there's 3 or 4 times where I question, since it's a limited series, there's a couple times where I question whether it was over already. Like when they rescued the girls. You know what I mean? And handsome face American Horror Story got
got
dead.
capped.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that
Evan
fucking
Peters.
episode.
Oh, dude, I was live commentating to Derek while I was watching it, and I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, oh my god, he just got domed.
I didn't want to like spoil anything, so I'm like, I don't want to accidentally say something that happens here or there. So like, that's the only reason I didn't respond. But dude, that whole scene, Veronica and I were like ready for bed. The first half of the episode, like kind of nodding out, and then we were literally like on the edge of our seats watching the rest of it. Like that whole scene was. And Zabel just gets capped like it's nothing. Like he wasn't a main character.
That's
of the show.
why it was so shocking.
Yeah, there was
it happened
no
so
like,
quickly.
there was no lead up or like he didn't even have a chance, dude. He just got shot in the head.
But that's got to be what it's like, right? Like
what it's like. Yes,
of
exactly.
Course.
Yeah. It was true to form. Exactly.
Also, I like to add in that my friend Beth did makeup FX on this show. She's an incredibly talented makeup artist.
Shout out to Beth.
Yeah, and she killed on this.
Well, job well done, Beth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Honestly, show was a 10 out of 10 for me.
100%.
The writing, like Derek said, my even if you're like just a hair above R-worded, and I'm sorry, it's gonna offend somebody. Even if you're just a hair above it,
what is a hair? What is a hair above R-worded though?
I don't know. There's rule 34 of it somewhere.
Oh no!
there are tropes.
That's got to be the one thing that's sacred, right?
there are well, nothing's sacred in rule 34. There are tropes in Hollywood that we all know that just get used and used and used. And honestly, in any good story, you foreshadow things, and that means that as long as you're not a dumb stupid pants, you can usually tell what's going to happen in a fucking show. Like, or at least have a pretty good idea. And that means that for some of us who really like...
Chris said, as long as you're not a dumb stupid pants, and we just let it happen. We just let it...
Well, you didn't now. Course. You could have, but now you...
no, keep going, Derek.
You called attention to it. I was trying to sneak it in under the radar, you know? They wouldn't have noticed.
Well, Derek apparently has god-tier dum-dum doo-doo head radar.
I was trying to sneak it in under the radar. They wouldn't have noticed anyway. And the plots of these shows are usually predictable. And like Derek said, the writing was so good that I kept going, oh, okay, so that makes sense. It was this guy. And then they switched it and I went, oh shit, that makes sense. It was that guy. And then they switched it again and I was like, oh my fucking God. And by the time we got to the end, it was just so heartbreaking. Like the reason the kid did it was so sad. Like, let's be real. It was John's fault.
Do you blame anyone? Do you blame, like, well, I mean...
Well, John,
of
100%.
Course. But I don't blame the kid. You don't blame John for protecting his kid, though.
No, of course not.
You blame John for the shitty thing he did.
For fucking his niece, for being an incestuous pedophile piece of shit.
Of course. But, I'm sorry.
Whoa,
Let me be clear.
Oh, my God.
What happened? What just happened? I don't know.
Oh boy,
that might be the end of that might be the cliffhanger of the podcast.
That's it. We have our own Mare of Easttown now. Mare Easttown season 2 featuring Scott Kelly. Where'd he go?
Mike.
Nobody knows.
I'm not going to laugh about that because I hope everything whatever just happened is okay.
A good point.
Someone might be getting into a fist fight. Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking, and then if he's not back for the sign off, I guess we're just going to have to go because I know you're short on time.
Yeah.
I love the show. I don't have anything else to say about it, to be honest with you. The writing was fantastic. The makeup, Beth, shout out, was super fantastic. It got me. It just got me, and I was. Yeah. It didn't feel like a sleeper show to me, but because like I don't know why you guys talking about it didn't register more. Mm-hmm. It just didn't. And then I finally watched it and I thought it was fucking crazy awesome.
Yeah, I was a little behind too, actually. Like we watched the first episode and we liked that, and maybe we watched the second one too. But we actually didn't get caught up until like 2 or 3 days before the last one aired. So we watched all
That's the best time.
Yeah, right. But so we saw, Zabel get capped right before the last one aired. But anyway, no, it was incredible. And Kate Winslet, as always, is a phenomenal actress. Just incredible. It ended in a way that was like really, really sad, obviously, for the way things turned out, but also like kind of inspiring. You had, what's her name? The woman with cancer, like her daughter was found. That whole scene was super emotional. Ultimately, like all the characters, I feel like had a good resolution in the end.
Yeah,
nobody kind of got like left behind, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, hey, he's back. You okay?
Hey.
Yeah,
we thought you got Mare of Easttown.
No, I ordered a contactless delivery of Pizza Hut like an hour and a half ago, and the lady has been sitting in the driveway for 20 minutes and didn't call, just
nice.
Boomers shouldn't be allowed to do
next week our Pizza Hut review.
Yeah, really.
All right, well, we were just wrapping it up, so we were just about to say our goodbye byes. We're happy nothing terrible is happening because Derek and I were laughing about your quick exit, and I was like, wait, shit, it might have been actually bad.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just watched my green screen get wreathed in flame.
But wait, what happened though? Did the delivery driver just come into the house or something?
No. My roommate banged on my door, and I was like,
did you punch him in the mouth afterwards? No,
no. But that was really weird. Like, imagine we all know what contactless delivery means, right? Like, we've all been living in a pandemic for a fucking year. Even those of us who are over the age of 55 know what contactless delivery means.
Right.
And when someone pre-tips you and gives you a phone number to call, you just call that number.
Just drop it on the fucking door and be out.
You drop it on that fucking door and then you call that number. It's not complicated, but apparently...
Or text it or something.
Apparently this lady's been sitting in the driveway for 20 minutes like a psychopath and didn't even knock on the fucking door.
She was sitting in the...
Yeah.
She was waiting?
Yeah, didn't even knock on the door.
How did I miss that? I thought that you said like she just dropped it off and had been sitting there for 20 minutes.
No. She like had been sitting in the driveway for 20 minutes and my roommate was like, "Who's in the fucking driveway?" And went outside and she's like, she gets out of the car when he goes outside. So listeners, check on your grandparents. Make sure that if they need money, you're helping them out. Don't let them do Pizza Hut deliveries or DoorDash or
What did you
any manner of mobile service.
though?
Pepperoni, sausage, and jalapeno.
Wow. Actually
very
respectable. I was ready to judge you, but I can't.
Can we all just say that I'm like a crystal ball fortune teller because that driver is clearly air above R worded.
Oh my god. We can't make the title hair above R worded.
Yeah, we can't, but we can keep saying it.
No. Episode 34. I've done my research.
That feels like it's it. Actually,
we have to figure out an image as well, but we can do that in the chat. I know Derek has to go. I don't want to take any what's the word? Privilege? Take any? I don't know. I don't want to take advantage of his time. So Derek, where can everybody find you at? Oh,
you can find me right here. Is Scott gone?
Real quick, I just want to ask you guys one final question. Would you rather pee out of your butt or poop out of your dinker?
Well,
all right. Say your goodbyes and answer at the same time.
Okay. Goodbye.
That's so dark.
Goodbye. My name is Derek. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD. I pee out of my butt every single day. So I'm just gonna take that one. I'm just gonna keep doing it.
So you don't want to change it up and try the poop out of the dinker?
No, it might hurt. It might not. It might feel good. Like, I don't know, but I know that I can deal
what
with
if pooping out of your dinker felt like coming, but it took like 15 minutes?
It was like a real thick cum.
Yeah. Well, it'd be
as
literal
long
poop,
as my normal?
but yeah.
You know how you talk about like pulling one out? What if you had to literally pull it out?
Oh no, with like forceps.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like you had to get these big metal forceps.
No.
Anyway, Scott, where can everybody find you at?
Of course, first you would need something to stretch the urethra wide open.
Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm good.
Pull it out.
No, we're good.
Damaging the orifice whatsoever. Very important to not damage.
I love the word orifice.
Could you imagine if you had a splinter in your dinker? How bad that would hurt?
No.
Yeah. My name is Swearwolf. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. We've already established that I'm not doing Facebook gaming anymore because my uncle showed up and it was really uncomfortable for me. But I'll be streaming Silent Hill.
What's his first name?
I don't want to say it because he might also listen to this podcast.
I don't know. It was so funny to me.
Can I guess it?
Yeah.
Uncle Jimmy.
No.
Ah, damn.
All right.
You want to guess again? You get one more.
I feel like
Bill.
Chris gets one. Yeah.
What's that?
Bill.
Bill? No, I don't even.
Okay.
I mean, I know a guy I used to call Uncle Billy, but he's just a drunk guy who's real nice. One of my dad's friends. Not a real unk, you know what I mean?
Right, Dutch uncle.
Hunk, not an unk. But I will be streaming all the Silent Hill games the same way that we did all the Resident Evils like last month, the month before. We're doing all the OG Silent Hills worth playing through in chronological order starting tonight on this podcast. So by the time you listen to this, it's already too late. But you can catch next week. I'm live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m.
He's live right now, boys. I am. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. I've just been playing whatever the fuck I want to. So if you're not down with that, could do something better. I've been playing a lot of. I'm trying to
suck his dick, y'all.
Mass Effect 3's DLC
Eat his shit, boys.
Is really voluptuous. Not really a word that you think of when you think of DLC, but it's very chunky, meaty. So I thought I was getting close to Mass Effect 3, and then I went off like a 4-hour piece of DLC. It completely sidetracked me from the main game.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm probably going to play some video games with Scott like Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because I'm on vacation this weekend. It's going to be super fun. Maybe we'll finally get some fucking hunt in, boys.
This lady definitely didn't call me. She fucking didn't call me at all.
Not at all. There we go.
My mama called me, though. She loves me.
Baba said.
Baba said.
And with that, we'll lead you guys out. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, lead us out.
No, you're good. You guys love to tag on stuff.
No, go ahead, lead us out. Go on.
Oh, he's gonna tag. That's why he's ready. Yeah. All right, boys. It's gonna wrap up episode 34, rule 34 of the Cynical Nerd. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See you then.
Do you think it's fair to say that Forrest Gump is a hair above R-worded?
Maybe a hair below.